Sounds good to me.
Chopping it with mittens, joking about his name is so fly. Mittens, cause he whipping, don't you get it, but that stove's hot, hot. Now let this be a lesson, professor. He handling the hit in his possession. Ooh, what you cooking, scalding hot beats, but blow up before it's cooking. Ooh, I know you're looking true. I'm out attacking with this beat on my lady, man. I'm really trying to date it out. What's the number trying to call out? What about my team? Wood, shout they don't get logged out. Made by possessor, the only way we fall out. Morocco, you a mole. Find another hole to crawl out. Hey, no stick a squirrel with the biggest girls. Laces the case get up.
All right, this should be the first video of the year, at least on this channel. Depending on when it comes out, I suppose. But I look forward to 2021. 2020 was kind of rough, so this will either end off our year or it will begin the next year. So we'll see how that plays out. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News 2nd edition. This is the GOUT report, and this is Snortopia, where the snorts of the past meet the present. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you guys are all doing well. Like I said, 2020 was a rough year. 2021 is not going to be, is going to have its challenges. I hope moving forward this will, we can somehow try to provide you guys with some entertainment and whatnot going through the trials and tribulations and the turbulence of the year that's about to come about. It's a thing, but like I said, we'll go through it together as best we can. So that's all I can really offer you. It's my contribution, I suppose, to mankind. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Secret Limited, tackling our first big project of the year. Top 10 worst DSP moments, or DSP gaming moments, I'm sorry, of 2016. This was published on December 23rd of 2016. The link will be down in the description. Now, I don't know at the time that I'm recording this if 2020's worst moments are out yet. If it is, then by all means, I'll try to link it down in the description. Please go watch it. If it's not out yet, we'll go over it eventually, but certainly when we do 2017's worst moments, I'll link it there, depending on whenever Secret gets it out, and whatnot. And big ups to Secret Limited, aka Secret Life of DSP, formerly known as the artist, formerly known as Secret Life of DSP. So that's the thing. Like I said, hopefully you guys are doing well. Let's not hold off any longer. Let's go ahead and strap in. We got a long year ahead of us, ladies and gentlemen. I have a lot of things planned. As in any plan, some things aren't going to work out. I hope a lot of it does. I know for sure I'm not going to be able to get to everything, but I'm certainly going to try. And like I said, if you're from the second channel, welcome to what is the Fight Club, if you will. If not, this is still our little secret organization. I have something kind of planned for that too, eventually. So that should be cool. And I just want to, just good vibes all around. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, we're here for the laughs. We're here to kind of share ideas and whatnot, and what are the stipulations, if you will, of the rise and the very gouty and snorty fall of Darksydephil. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? If you're not feeling it, no problem. Like I said, I know a bunch of other detractors out there that you can go and check out. Some very talented individuals. Don't feel like you're wasting your time here. If you feel in any way, shape, or form that you're not entertained, by all means, there are some very talented people out there that are worthy of your time and whatnot. I appreciate what time we had together, but you know what I'm saying? Everybody has to move on eventually. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get started. It's time to go and get shit done. Oh boy. Happy New Year, guys. Let's go.
And it don't stop, and it don't stop.
Hello, everyone.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and formally make our announcements. We are here with Secret Limited. Top 10 worst DSP Gaming 2016 moments. This was published on December 23rd of 2016. The link, without my annoying voice, will be down in the description. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with number 10. This right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the antithesis, if you will, the alpha, if you will, of the one-sided beef between Darksydephil and Wings of Redemption, which is something that I hope to bring more of to you on this channel and on the second channel as the year goes on. More of the I was gonna call them the Super Gouty brothers, but that's really Darksydephil and box wine dude. Oh, the quartering. So that's a kind of whole different thing. But there are two brothers, like, you know how you had the Brothers of Destruction with Kane and the Undertaker and whatnot during the Attitude Era. You could say you have the Brotherhood of Failure, if you will, between the two of them. The correlations between Darksydephil and Wings of Redemption are uncanny in a lot of ways. And since it's already been proven that gout is not a sexually transmitted disease, since, as far as we know, Kat doesn't have it, despite the fact that she had that situation with her jaw, but that's a whole different thing. And Panda, or Leanna, is doing quite well. I'm not sure why Darksydephil hates Wings of Redemption. And please believe he hates him. He does hate him. He hates everybody. But why he has an intense discomfort at the very mention of Wings of Redemption. It's really weird, because when it comes to some of Phil's... what's the word I'm looking for? If anybody would understand, let's reword it. If anybody could understand the day-to-day bullshit that in air quotes, that Darksydephil goes through, it's Wings of Redemption. More than anybody. Now, granted, DSP has been dealing with it longer, but I think Wings of Redemption's was way more intense. Like they really brought this into his real life, if you will. Not to say that, you know, calling Darksydephil out on his own lies isn't necessarily correlating with his real life. It affects him, but it's because he allows it to affect him. And he lies about stuff in his personal life that doesn't need to be lied about, but he does it for the point of sympathy. Because of that, and once detractors, trolls, haters, and critics pull back that veil, then you find out all the other bullshit that's also behind that. And that's Darksydephil's fault, because he always has to label himself, or he always has to paint himself, or he always has to project himself as the victim, which only comes back to being in his own deficit. And for whatever reason, after all these years, he still hasn't learned. Which is insane, because you have a person who's like, oh, everybody thinks I'm a liar. All these people do is call me liars, yada, 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 yada. I don't care. I'm not trying to appeal to those people. But you are. Let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, going into the 2020 year, or the 2021 year, sorry, or the 2021 season, because it is hunting season out here. We got a lot of bacon lined up. At the end of the day, he's appealing to the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics. We are the majority. We are the dominant, you know what I'm saying? We are the dominant force. We are the apex. We are the top of the food chain. Period. Everybody else that is devoted to Phil, or gives Phil money, or praises him, you are nothing more than weak. You are nothing more than sheep to the slaughter. You are merely a organism to keep a much bigger parasite fed. To keep that parasite, to keep that disease, whatever you want to call it, moving forward. At the end of the day, if he could corrupt, or just sway, but I'll use corrupt because I like it. If he could corrupt a detractor or even some of their fan base, that's what he's going for. He's not just going for our money, but he's going for our influence. People listen to us. People respect us, or at least some of us anyway. I can't say people respect me, but people respect a lot of detractors, trolls, haters, and critics. That respect is what Phil wants, and he needs it. And if he can't get it himself, he'll pull that from others. For all of you who follow Phil, you guys don't fall into that category. You guys never could, to be honest. That's the reason why he treats you guys the way he does. You don't have to respect the weak. You know what I'm saying? It's not a virtue that he possesses because he's weak himself. You know what I mean? But he looks at himself as just strong enough to be above you guys. In any case, his discomfort around Wings of Redemption, to be honest with you, and this is just my own personal opinion, when he looks at Wings, he sees his own failures, and he sees them to the extreme, and he doesn't want to face it, and that's why he doesn't want to have any association with him. I don't think DSP ever wanted an association with him. Ever. Because even when Wings had extended this offer to him, which in 2016 would have been a pretty good time to do so, you know what I'm saying? There was still something to bleed Wings for. I think, yet again, he still looks at Wings as a failure. And he looks at him as a representation, an avatar, if you will, of his failure. His Wings you could say that DSP looks at Wings as the manifestation of his own failures, and he can't live with that. You know what I'm saying? So it's easier to defend him every once in a while when he can try to make himself look good, or try to get himself over, or try to have his own little pity party, and then slam him with everybody else when it's convenient. It's a shitty way of looking at things, but in actuality, that's what the case is. Because of that, you see what you see now. And if he ends up working with Wings in any way, shape, or form, it's him having to content to the fact that, you know, it's him having to accept the fact that, you know what, I'm no better than you. Because at the end of the day, it's always about a superiority complex. It's always about, you see it a lot with low tier God. We're going to go over some of that as the year goes on, hopefully, as well. It's always a superiority complex. And a lot of these guys will say what they want to say about other lolcows, but none of them really want to be associated. Now, don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen. The Real Housewives of lolcows, or the big ups to Paul, or the life and time of lolcow wives, or whatever the situation I end up landing on with that could still be a thing with Kelly and Catherine. That could still be a thing, and that could be profitable. You're actually seeing that now in real time. Like I said, I hope to go over some Wings content here as we go along. That the situation with Kelly is starting to really ripen and become very fruitful. Actually, I think it always was. But eventually she's going to grow too big, no pun intended. She's going to grow too big for Wings' audience. She's going to eventually branch out and get her own audience. And it's going to overshadow Wings, and he knows it. The only thing that we can say is that Wings isn't going to let it, I think, at least at right now, he's not going to let it completely overtake him, or he's not going to hinder it in any which way. It's money. It's financial security that Wings wants very, very badly, very, very desperately. And as Wings is sitting there eating his Chick-fil-A, using all 5 fingers to put chips in his mouth and just gaining the weight back at an alarming sort of rate, you're going to see Kelly, I think, gain a type of social independence that I think she always has, but it'll be just on a much larger level. And I think eventually Wings will get I think people won't troll Wings nearly as much because they won't see a need to. There won't be a point to it anymore. It'll lose some of his interest. Don't get me wrong. There will still always be Wings detractors out there. There are Wings trolls, whatever. They're always going to get their hot takes or whatnot. But I think you're going to watch Kelly end up moving up and outwards in a way that Wings could only wish he could have had, that DSP only wish he could have had, that maybe even low tier God only wish he could have had. And if low tier God, for example, didn't fuck up that relationship with that one big booty chick, goddamn, that could have been an interesting little duo between the two of them, but that's semantics. DSP and Catherine, that shit failed because Catherine was like, if you're not going to let me participate, this is my theory, of course, if you don't let me participate, then what am I doing there? I'm not going to just sit around and be your fucking mannequin so you can collect fucking bits. You know what I'm saying? And then he used Almighty Tevin as his catalyst, as, oh, it's his fault, and everything he represents is at fault for why you guys don't have Cat anymore. When in actuality, if he didn't sit there and fill Kat's head with all that bullshit and just let her go out into the field, let her jump into the fire, let her jump into the bacon grease and see what's what, she would have found that there would have been an interesting amount of sympathy for her while there's still going to be a little bit of trolling. But I don't think it's anything that she couldn't handle. You know what I'm saying? So DSP fucked up a major opportunity with that. But you're not seeing Wings make that mistake. Yet again, another reason why DSP probably loathes Jordy or Wings of Redemption the way he does. Because even when Jordy doesn't mean to, he can capitalize on situations that DSP just certainly can't. His ego's too big. And he's too fragile, mentally and physically. So he just can't get it done. But anyway, thank you for coming to my monologue / TED Talk after a TED Talk / chewing the fat. Let's go ahead and get into our 2016 issue.
DSP, is he coming today?
No. I go, hey, Phil. We did a live stream of this show this week, mainly because a couple of the hosts were out of town for the holidays. The ending of the show asked if we were getting another guest. I let it slip that Darksydephil might be coming on the show next week, but the time we usually do it is Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It runs about 2 hours. You're not required to stay the full time if you don't want to. It's just a few guys that sit around and chill. Nothing big. He was okay, honest.
Fast. So let me give you guys the lineup. So you have Jordy Jordan, or you have Wings of Redemption, chunky guy with the glasses up there in the top corner. Next to him is Jive Turkey. Under Jive Turkey is Eddie, and next to Eddie, under Wings of Redemption, is White Boy 7th Street. Now, all of these dudes, at one time or another, were known. I'm not sure about Eddie. I think Eddie's been known in the Call of Duty community for sure. Jive Turkey's definitely been around for a real long time. He's well known amongst a bunch of, and he's cool with a bunch of Call of Duty heads going back to like Randy Savage, Fisticuff, 402 Thunder, all of those guys. And the dude is just a really good player. Eddie B's a funny guy. Or Eddie, I should say. Eddie's a funny guy. He's been around. He's done a lot of stuff. At Current, he has started a couple years ago, I should say. He started a channel with him, and these two other dudes that used to kind of play Call of Duty or did commentary or / shoutcasting over Call of Duty. They ended up getting into Destiny. And they would like break down weapons and stuff like that. Really successful channel. And then they spun off and did that same type of formula with Overwatch, which that still exists. And they still upload over there. And it's amazing to watch how, at least when I was watching a little bit of it, how well that channel transitioned, like, and how well it's received and whatnot. And even as toxic as the Overwatch community is, not as a whole, but you know what I mean, they don't get a lot of that hate, and in a lot of ways they were able to stop some of the bullshit that other content creators were getting and whatnot by standing up and saying, hey, we don't need to do this, we're stronger together than apart. So Eddie's part of that three-man trio. White Boy 7th Street has been around in the Call of Duty community for a real long time. If nothing else, he's one of the few people who still holds the gate, who's still gatekeeping, if you will, as it pertains to a lot of the dirty secrets of the Call of Duty community, the drug use, the faking gameplays and live comms, like a lot of that shit. And he's also had his run-ins with Wings, a lot. Some of the shit was silly. A lot of that shit was just Wings stepping out of his goddamn face. And, White Boy put him there. You know what I'm saying? White Boy had to put him in his place and shit. There's an interesting dynamic, I should say, with this whole podcast. And like I said, this was also after Wings got pushed out of PKA. And all the big money that Wings, I think, is rightfully entitled to. But that's a whole nother situation for a whole nother day.
This Tuesday won't work for me. I already made up my work schedule. I go, just making sure we're still on for tomorrow at 12, on the 12th at 3 p.m. Eastern. He goes, hello, sir. Sadly, the news is not good. I've come down with a nasty cold and my throat is sore, so I can barely speak. I slept most of the day in hopes I could be better in time for tomorrow, but it's not looking good. To make matters worse, there's no way I could really do the podcast the Tuesday after that as well. The earliest I'll be able to do it is 2 weeks' time. Really sorry about this. I was really looking forward to being on. I would have responded sooner if I was awake. So, like, okay, I don't know how.
So, DSP trying to put these guys off, saying that he was sick, then trying to say, oh, I can't do it next week either because I'm probably not going to feel well. So at best would be like 2 weeks time. You can let me know, and you can probably let me know on it, is a very cowardly way, I think, of getting these guys to slowly but surely lose interest in him and in him coming on and doing the podcast while trying to stay face. On top of that, all four of these guys in their own ways, I should say, are savages. If any one of them decided to just ask a question that may possibly trigger Phil. Phil's going to think, well, wait a second, these guys are a four-man team, so they're all going to gang up on me. Yet again, it's all bitch-made type shit on Phil's part, and he just don't want no part of it. Now, here's the interesting part, if you guys actually were watching how this was unfolding as Wings was telling them Phil's excuses. All of them dudes just basically just lost interest. Like, immediately. They were like, all right, whatever. You know, who gives a shit? It's not that big of a loss. And in actuality, that's what it comes down to. Now, DSP's main falter is, oh, these people talk shit about me because I didn't want to come on their podcast, or I was sick, and and that was unfair, and they didn't let me get a chance to defend myself, and that's crap, yada, yada, yada. And that really wasn't how it went down. You know what I'm saying? Like, when DSP said he wasn't coming, they were like, all right, then, whatever, fuck it. And then you move on with your day. But DSP took it as a slight. So let's continue.
I don't know how to judge that. I mean, he could be being sincere. He could just be like trying to dodge us.
Fuck it.
Alright everyone, welcome back to Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories.
I wonder if you know that I know he's lying right now.
Oh yes, the frame rate of legends. I love it. The choke house music. Oh shit! Oh great, what the hell? Did you see that? I hit the fucking stupid newspaper thing and the whole car gets fucked up? Come on, man. Hello and welcome to KO Gaming, delivering gaming's greatest hits. What's going on, everyone? Phil here on behalf of KO Gaming, and welcome to the hateful...
Boy, don't that piggy sound sick? That piggy sounds sick. That sounds terrible. That's like all those Gouty earaches that we had in 2020. Y'all remember that? And all those sad little puppy girl fucking pictures we got on Instagram of him laying on his side and shit, right? Or the sob stories of him sitting next to his wife, right? Trying to watch her play Animal Crossing or whatever it was and trying so hard to concentrate and he couldn't. Even though he could concentrate enough to go on Detractor Twitter and on Kiwi Farms to see what they were saying. Interesting.
Rebooted, my gaming review series where I give you maximum truth and minimum bullshit regarding the latest video game releases. Please don't let it be like those DLCs originally for Fallout 3. Anyone remember the ones that didn't even load on launch day? Please let them work, but a great game overall, 9.5 out of 10 from me.
Stop fucking lying.
So the point of the whole Wings, to wrap that part up, the whole point of the Wings of Redemption DSP nonsense really was one-sided. Okay, now as the podcast goes on, if you want to go back and look, you can find it. They kind of just make light of it. They, you know what I'm saying, they crack a couple of jokes, no big deal. It is what it is. At the end of the day, and in truth, the email that he sent to Jordy kind of proves it, he had no interest in going on there. And he just didn't want to look like a coward for not going on there, and he tried to stay face by saying he was sick. Like a kid who has a project that he or she needs to present in front of the class, and they're not very good at publicly speaking, or maybe they don't have a whole lot of confidence, so they have to come up with numerous reasons why, and then just eventually they just pass in the written assignment, and enough said, because no one gives a shit at that point. It's kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? Which only... yet again, reinforces, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Oh, I didn't get the opportunities that other people did. Should have been there to let me collab with other people, to set up collaborations with other people, to give me an opportunity to grow, to give me an opportunity to expand myself. Last time I checked, pigs don't fly. And last time I checked, if you want to do collaborations with other people, you got to reach out to those people. Period. You have to reach out to those people. You can't expect other people to do that for you. You're a grown man who runs a business. Pigman, if you will. Walking stack of bacon, raw expired bacon. No one has to do anything for you. Even if you think that's to Machinima's benefit, they don't have to do that. And I don't even see what the benefit of it would really be anyway. Especially when Darksydephil had been in a decline for a number of years, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Him and Wings could have probably done a collaboration back in 2013, 2014. Even though Wings was strictly doing Call of Duty. They could have probably have done something back then. They probably could have had a podcast or something. Or at least an interview between the two of them. That never happened. No one owes Darksydephil anything. The only person who hasn't figured that out yet is Darksydephil. Now, let's go into that hate army.
Before we start here, can I just say that these are some of the most generic fucking shirts that I've ever seen in my goddamn life.
Yeah, like there's no color to it. The fonts could be better. Definitely different type of fonts. Like this shit could be so much more creative. You know what I'm saying? You know what? To be honest with you, at least with this one right here, and another shirt that one of the models were wearing, it looks like really it's just a black shirt, and then someone just photoshopped the words on there. That's kind of what the shirt looks like. It doesn't have any real structure. Like the words aren't actually like adding to the actual shape of the model if you look at it. It looks really like it's just been photoshopped onto the front. And if you're a model out there in doing whatever, you know what I'm saying, for a photo shoot, you don't want to wear that shit. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to hear that. You definitely don't want nobody out there wearing hate army unless you're really about that life and everything that comes with it. But whatever, semantics.
One more thing. The hate army shirt with it saying 86. If you were to crumple that, it would say 88, and that has
that's a Nazi thing.
That's a Nazi thing. Not smart, Phil.
What I really feel bad about is if you're one of those kids who would buy that hate army shirt and you go into school and say, hey, I'm part of the hate army now. Guess where you're gonna end up? In a fucking locker.
We've got Darkside with an 86. Hate army, which in my opinion would make you seem like you're a racist.
Yeah.
That seems like a slang term for like the KKK or some shit.
Like a white power.
I'm actually surprised about it because I'm just not thinking about this. So you got hate army, I guess, on one side and Darkside. Couldn't fit Darksydephil on the other. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised. I would have photoshopped it to where you have 14 on the front, where it says Darkside, and then on the back you have 86 with hate army, because that would be really, really skirting the line on what this kind of represents. Because, like, let's be honest, he's used the hate army thing for a while. And it's funny, too, because just recently, in December, actually, just of 2020, whenever you're listening to this, he had denied, you know, ever really using hate army for anything. Hate army, by the way, goes back to, like, his FGC days. But someone found a clip on Twitter. I don't know who, but, excuse me, tremendous amount of respect to that individual. Big ups to them. Found a clip of Phil trying to get like some type of viewership on a video that John had put out, or on a playthrough. Never mind. It was on a playthrough that him and John were doing. And so he says, you know, hey guys, I'm trying to, you know, I'm calling on the hate army to help us out with this because I want to see this playthrough with me and John do really well. And, you know, we very much appreciate it. Kind of like how now, where he's like, yeah, guys, I need you to contribute because, you know, the detractors hate it and whatnot. They hate to see me successful. They hate seeing me do well. So the more you guys contribute, the more it helps. It's kind of like that. And I'm sure there's more examples of it in early Darksydephil content. But that's just another thing in itself. Interesting nonetheless. I don't know why he thought that was a good idea. And I can't remember what he said 86 means. I think he said some bullshit about at like standing up against adversity or some type of cheesy nonsense to like give his life more meaning. Just pathetic.
The way the Teespring works is you have to sell X amount before they even print these. So essentially, it's like Kickstarter for shirts. And what Mr. Phil is going to be trying to do, he's going to try to sell 19 of these Hate Army shirts in 19 days, 20 of those Glitchy Apparel Days shirts in 5 days, and 20 of the Nothing I Can Do shirts in 19 days. And so far, he has sold a grand total of 2.
There's no art on it, it's just fucking text.
Because this fucking shit is these are terrible.
They are really
absolutely
bad.
terrible.
Really.
But also, to close it up, it also just shows a lack of an imagination. Like, that's really what it comes down to for Phil. And Phil's always been that way. He's always shown a lack of an imagination, a lack of creativity. And that's why you get what you get. Like, that was utter garbage. Absolute utter garbage. But at the end of the day, he's also looking to give you guys the bare minimum, which is, I would say, Phil's whole life leading up till now. You know what I'm saying? From the moment he was birthed, it was all about doing the bare fucking minimum. He sees other people who have nice things, whose families can afford nicer things than what he has, and he feels that, well, if you guys can have that, why can't I have that? I should feel entitled to it. You hear him actually talk about that quite a bit. Excuse me. When he was in high school, where he was like, you know, all these other athletes and all these other guys, they were getting the full scholarships and they were getting full rides to Ivy League schools or prestigious schools or whatever. I deserve that. But I couldn't get that because I was white and my family wasn't rich. And it's like, okay, okay, let's say that we were going to humor you with that for a minute. You still got to work at it. They had to work at something to achieve that. What did you have to work for? Or what did you have to work at? And then if you go back into the DSP lore, he did get a partial scholarship, right? And then his parents paid for the rest of it. So he had a full ride either which way. His parents flipped the bill for whatever his scholarship couldn't cover. And they probably still gave him pocket money. And he said he worked while he was in college. Maybe he did, but he didn't put in any more than like 20 hours a week. And anything else, I'm sure his parents sent it to him. So what the fuck are you complaining about, dude? Whatever.
Because there's a lot of shit I could say about a lot of fucking YouTubers.
And then, sorry, to cap that off, it doesn't even matter. He didn't use his degree for nothing. His degree was a fucking waste. So it didn't matter either which way. You still failed. You still failed. It doesn't matter. Your degree was an absolute fucking waste. Oh well.
And they're not gonna like it.
Get ready for the next battle.
When I get about, 100 emails from people saying, Phil, why is Alpha Omega Sin talking shit about you in this video? And I watch the video, and for a good 30 seconds, the guy goes on a ranting tangent about rage quitters in video games. Doesn't even really apparently understand what it even means to rage quit in a video game. And then he name drops me as the example, like the poster boy for rage quitting in video games. I have to speak up.
Now,
Okay.
I've done 2 videos on this, so it is what it is. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and talk about that briefly. Street Fighter V, early on, people were rage quitting, as they have in most online fighting games since since the Street Fighter 4 series. And he was saying that they need to initiate like a rage quit hell. You know what I'm saying? To put players who are going to be essentially unsportsmanlike, put them in there with each other and let them fuck each other over, because it is bullshit that you sit there, you play through this match, you win, and someone takes that shit away from you. Now, it was fighting games. Alpha Omega Sin is an old head, so when you think of rage quitting, he immediately came up with Darksydephil. Now, I give him 50-50 on it. When you think of people who rage quit games, who are unsportsmanlike, and are just out and out bitches, DSP fits the bill. Does Phil rage quit a lot of fighting games, or has he rage quit a lot of fighting games? Now you're skirting it. He has rage quit matches, sure, but enough so to where he would be warranted for that, for this particular example? No. I think the better option, I think a lot of people do. A lot of people, especially in the years after this, will tell you, low tier God was the better choice because he's made a gimmick out of doing it. But yet again, Alpha Omega Sin's an old head, so he went with what he knew. Was it completely and totally fair, if you will, to DSP? No, it probably wasn't. At the same time, DSP has quit has rage quit in general a lot of games, and no one can deny that he has rage quit a lot of games. So on that premise, I'm not going to condemn Alpha Omega Sin for throwing DSP's name into the hat. I'm just not going to do it. You know what I'm saying? There's a fair argument that's been made in some of my older videos where we went over this. People brought it up and made fair arguments. But at the end of the day, we all agree that DSP's rage quit a lot of games. He had the reputation then, as he does now, for rage quitting games. You know what I'm saying? Or slowly let them falling into the piggy ether. It is what it is. You reap what you sow.
Okay? I have to. And the bottom line is this, alright? I'm not gonna put up with this shit anymore from anyone. I don't give a fuck how big you are on YouTube. You have no right to name drop me in a negative light and be completely fucking wrong. It's one thing if you want to call me out on something that I've actually done, right? But don't come at me with fucking bullshit like this. Because the bottom line is it hurts me and it hurts my business. Because now anyone who watches Alpha Omega Sin's videos is gonna say, oh, Darksydephil, he's that infamous fucking rage quitter. Why would I ever watch him play Street Fighter 5?
Get ready for the next battle.
If I had to choose between the world and Sonic, I would choose Sonic.
If I had to choose between the world and PewDiePie, I would choose PewDiePie.
Now, that's another scumbagish thing too, right? And this has been pointed out by Tevin, amongst a lot of great detractors, where they're like, it's funny how if Phil can go ahead and throw shots at everybody, shots on everybody, but if anybody name drops him in any type of way, shape, or form, no matter how big or how small they are as a content creator, it's bullying, it's unfair, you're slandering me, you're slandering my business, yada, yada, yada. If it's not praise, then it's automatically written off as being a negative. Yet he can do that shit all the time in his little bubble, and it's okay. And that's actually his defense in some ways. I'm just a small content creator. Someone asked me a question, or I was making a small joke. That shouldn't be a big deal. I don't deserve my business to get fucked with. And in a lot of ways, he downplays his own relevance by saying that, because he's basically like, if I say something about them, that doesn't have any negative connotations on them. But if they say something about me, that fucks me up. Yet again, the eternal victim. The eternal snotty victim. And he wonders why no one takes him seriously. And he wonders why people are so reluctant to help him. Like, for example, in an upcoming episode of Struggle Against the Grease on the main channel, or here, I don't know, I'm kind of flip-flopping that series. There's going to be a lot of crossover from this channel and the main channel, so it is what it is. Look at the situation with Dan's Games, or Dan's Gaming. Look at that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Look at that. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, quick reference. So, Dan's Gaming, every year, like some content creators on Twitch, will go to a random streamer and drop, a bunch of tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3 subs, ranging anywhere. Tier 1s are going to be 500. For 250 subs, it'd be like $500, and then you just keep moving up. But they randomly shower that on people for the holidays. Some people like to accuse other people for clout chasing. Some people say it's just them trying to be generous, for the holiday season or whatnot, especially for the old heads that have been around for a very long time. Make of that what you will. In any case, Dan's Gaming choose Darksydephil for whatever reason. He caught, a couple of good Samaritans reached out to him and let him know what the deal was. And Dan's Gaming ends up going on to Twitter and publicly apologizing for doing it, and then says if he could charge it back, he will. Now, is he going to charge it back? No. That shit's a drop in the bucket to Dan. He doesn't give a fuck. But he does give a fuck about his public image. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is Dan's been around long enough to know, if not know Darksydephil, he knows of him. So he was kind of taking a risk by doing it, but I think it's just human nature. It's just general. It's just his generosity to want to, you know, throw him a little money and try to help him out for the holidays, because Jesus Christ, he's always begging. He's begging all year round anyway. So why not? But it came back on him. And Dan was smart enough to get in front of it before that shit really fucked his life up. Not really fucked his life up, but really became a headache that it didn't need to. But that's what Darksydephil breeds. You know what I mean? Imagine you randomly giving charity to somebody or to an organization and then getting not even hate just yet. It wasn't like he was getting a whole lot of hate yet. You get a couple of people who were like, you know, that might have been an ill-advised decision. And then you realizing that, or realizing what could be brewing, publicly apologize for being charitable. Only Darksydephil, well, yeah, I'd say only Darksydephil could probably, you know, drum up that type of sentiment. That's insane. That's insane. That you're that loathed, right? That people who contributed to you have to feel the need to publicly apologize on Twitter, onto this large platform. And think about it too. The people who ended up well, we'll talk about that later. But the point is that that's what kind of ire Darksydephil wields and whatnot. And that is on him on a regular basis. That's insane. That's insane. And, ladies and gentlemen, in a lot of ways, it proves the theory that no good deed goes unpunished.
Of course!
Get ready for the next battle.
PewDiePie. Outright jealousy for PewDiePie too. Sorry, let's just jump back on the subject. His outright jealousy of PewDiePie is just pathetic, especially when he holds up the sentiment that, oh, PewDiePie used to watch my videos, I inspired him. He makes it sound like PewDiePie owes him or something. Oh, you're a Muppet. Oh, you don't really make content. You're not really that great at games. You're just screaming just so stupid kids can sit there and think that shit's entertaining. But then, and you shouldn't represent gamers on YouTube or anywhere. But then on the other hand, oh, well, I inspired him. So what does that say about you then, DSP, Darksydephil, Darksydekaren, Dark Geppetto, Darksydephil? What does that say about you? And he don't see that. He doesn't even understand the social meta. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we call it a lack of self-awareness, but it gets deeper than that. So you want to take credit for him, right? For inspiring him, but then look at what he became. What's your point? And then we're getting ready to go into Jacksepticeye now. Jacksepticeye in Markiplier, let's say, he would just say, oh, well, they're just PewDiePie ripoffs. This, that, and a third. And Markiplier may very well be the deepest out of all three of them, to be honest. Depending on how far you want to follow it. You know what I'm saying? So even if you want to say that you inspired this whole little, in Phil's words, this whole little Muppet show, you inspired them. So theoretically, you get some of the blame. But even then, how is it that they're all 100 times more successful than you? And then 1,000 times more successful than you could ever be. At the end of the day, the only person that should be embarrassed is you, Phil. No one is put into the annals of history for inspiring people when they turned out to be out and out failures, outside of a few outliers. But it won't be you. It won't be you.
I can't even his fuck his name. Jacksepticeye? What the fuck kind of name is that? Because these two guys go on YouTube and every video they put out gets 1 million views. It makes them the be-all, end-all authority on gaming, and everyone else should be immediately written off Not the fact that most people with intelligent minds say that those guys suck and you shouldn't watch their shit because
everybody being written off, meaning him. Everybody who's not getting recognition for all of their work, meaning him.
Because they're dumbed down for dumb fucks. You little kids, that's who watches their stuff. Not intelligent humans. You wouldn't ever go to these people to see an intelligent game review, right? You go there to get a silly laugh at a bunch of jokesters. That's really what their content is for.
Even though kids are their target audience for the most part. And this is coming from the same idiot who said that I made racist jokes, I made sexist jokes, I made toilet humor, or I did toilet humor. I did all of these things to attract the how did he word it? He did it to attract the immature young audience that was eating that shit up and praising him for how good his content was. If that's not being a hypocrite, I don't know what is.
But anyway, whatever.
Get ready for the next battle.
But at the same time, I don't think Rich realizes that when he makes tweets like that, especially when it's 5 in the fucking morning for me and I'm asleep and I can't respond to it, that all it does is cause problems for me. Because when he tweeted that, immediately all his viewership went and watched the fucking video.
Get ready for the next.
I went over the situation with Rich on this channel. I know I've done it on the main channel at the very least, but I am going to in 2020. Excuse me. There was a 3-part series made about Rich from years ago that goes over a good amount of his bullshit. The original person who had made these videos, their channel got taken down by Rich, obviously, and they had made a series of videos that they had put out there, and right around the time their channel was being taken down, they were like, hey, anybody who wants to archive it, let this continue to be out there. Anyway, I had a small series going over 3 of those videos. Some stuff happened, some stuff that I needed to hear happened, and things didn't work out with that. The 3 videos I did commentary over are going to be in the vault. End of story. That's just a rip. But the original videos, though, will be mirrored, as well as it'll be mirrored on the main channel. It'll be mirrored here. But over here, there are a lot of other videos on Rich. There's a lot of videos on Rich and a lot of the bullshit that he did to other people, a lot of the nonsense he said about other people, a lot of beefs he started, all of that. I don't know when in 2021 that's going to happen, but there will be a week or whatever, depending on how many videos we decide to mirror, if not all of them, where you're just going to get Review Tech USA shit. Just Review Tech USA drama. I want you to hold me to that, because a lot of people need to see it. And since essentially we do DSP history over here anyway, might as well throw some Rich in there. Might as well throw some Low Tier God in there. Might as well throw some Wings of Redemption in there. So I want to try to give you guys a gumbo of all this, if you will. You know what I'm saying? It'll be delicious, I promise you. So that is a thing to look forward to in 2021. Especially with the Review Tech USA shit. A lot of that shit is eye-opening. Now, granted, supposedly he's mature, supposedly he moved on, what the fuck ever. But you need to, I promise you, you need to see some of this stuff. Whether you agree with it or not is completely up to you. And that's no problem. But you need to at least see it. So look out for that.
What are my actual thoughts on the Toby Turner scandal? Here it is. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about Toby Turner. I don't care about what YouTuber slept with.
This video right here is actually titled me, Darksydephil, reacting to the Toby Turner situation. This is an entire video that he dedicated to this. Now, Phil's hatred for Toby Turner goes way back. It goes way back to Connecticut on some dumb shit, like really dumb shit. I think I've gone over a video on that too. But to sum it up, back in it must have been somewhere between 2011 and 2014. Like I said, sometime in his heyday when he was in Connecticut and he was making it was all milk and honey and shit on YouTube. Toby Turner was getting a lot of publicity, as well as iJustine, as well as a lot of very popular vloggers were crossing over into gaming, because gaming was a really good lick and whatnot. There was a lot of money to be made. There was a lot of publicity to be made. There was a lot of connections to be made, and that's what they did. You know what I'm saying? iJustine's still doing it. If Toby Turner didn't have his issues, he'd probably still be doing gaming as well. But whatever, there was a crossover. You know what I'm saying? When you could, back in those days, Phil tells you, oh, I did this for 2 years, or I did this for 3 years, and I couldn't profit off it, and I didn't make a lick of money off of it. I didn't make any money doing this. He couldn't make any money doing this off of gaming content. Vlogging, sure, but not off gaming content. When gaming started to really get big on YouTube, especially when the money came in, yes, people who were doing vlogs side the crossover, most of them were gamers. Not crazy hardcore gamers, but most of them were gamers. And most of them, if not almost all of them, were at least entertaining. They had some personality. They didn't need to depend on other people to bounce off of to get content out there to get people to watch. They didn't have to bleed their friends and whatnot, turn them into fucking serfs to get content out there so they could profit. And then bitch 5-6 years later about how I gave them half. That video is coming too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of vloggers crossed over, made a crazy amount of money. Toby Turner is one of them. Now, Toby Turner is bad at games, but he's entertaining being bad at games. Whereas people like Phil and like Jordy or Wings of Redemption want to be looked at as serious gamers and don't want to be ridiculed for the dumb shit that they do or their inability to do things. In any case, Toby Turner basically ends up getting a deal with Madden or whoever, and he does a commercial. It goes on to, it's essentially put onto, the commercial was made by Machinima, and it was put on their partners' videos and whatnot as a commercial. And Phil ends up it shows up on some of Phil's videos, and Phil gets butthurt talking about it's unfair. Well, no, he gets butthurt, but then he backs off of that, or he backpedals, I should say, and says, oh, I'm not mad at the commercial. I'm mad that at the end of the commercial, it promotes Toby Turner, and I'm a gaming YouTuber as well. He's my direct competitor, and they shouldn't be advertising on my videos. Now, ladies and gentlemen, however you feel about that is however you feel about that. Here's the reality. When people watch the video, Phil gets paid. So who gives a shit? At the end of the day, who gives a shit? That's like if, for example, Almighty Tevin does a commercial and whatnot, and that's put on every detractor video out there. If your channel is monetized, you're getting paid for that commercial, or if people are watching it. So who gives a fuck? Who really gives a shit? Unless you are that insecure about your content, which Phil has always been upset about other people being praised on his content, meaning in his comment section or so on and so forth. He's always had a problem with that. He's always had a soft underbelly, right, when it comes to being compared to other people, because he's utter garbage and he knows it. And he's not man enough to sit there and accept it. And he definitely isn't man enough to make changes to get better, to be better. With that being said, he sat there and thought lashing out at Toby Turner was going to help him, and it didn't. And he chased him around on Twitter. He was demanding stupid-ass apologies and all this dumb shit, and it was a whole fucking mess. Like I said, I've already done a video on it, but it showed, I think, it showed exactly back then. It showed what kind of weak individual Darksydephil is. Toby Turner didn't have any control over that commercial. He got paid to do the commercial. What's done is done. Where it goes is out of his reach. It's out of his hands. So for you to bitch and complain and go ahead and do angry snorts all over Twitter over that dumb shit, demanding apologies from him, and then I surmise that this is what he wanted, but I can't prove this. He ends up, when he finally does get Toby Turner into DMs, I think he was like, I want a public apology from you, and I want you to promote me on your channel, because Machinima promoted you on my channel. And I think Toby Turner was like, that's unrealistic as shit. I'm not doing any of that. I don't have to apologize to you because that's not my fault. And that's out of my hands. And I'm definitely not going to promote you because look at how the fuck you're acting. I don't need to promote garbage like this. If you're going to come to me and react like a child, why the fuck would I want to promote a child? Why would I give that child what they want? And Phil's still too stupid to realize that. But Toby Turner, I think, instinctively saw that. He was like, no, I'm not doing that. There's no way. And it's first off, it's definitely unrealistic. But also, I'm not going to feed into your bullshit because you're fucking some failing loser out there who's barely getting by. And you're mad because other people are either more creative, have more personality, or who treat this shit like it really is fun instead of treating it like it's a goddamn job. Toby Turner didn't owe you jack shit. And that's why Phil didn't get jack shit. And that's why he's been a little bitch ever since. You didn't see his dumbass running to Machinima for that. No, he didn't do that. He went ahead and stayed a good whore in the back seat, right? And waited to get dropped off to the next John. He didn't have nothing to say to Machinima. But you want to go ahead and shit on this guy who was merely in the commercial. Think about that. He's going to sit there and get mad at the guy who was promoted at the end of that commercial, and he may not have even had any say-so in that. And you don't think people aren't going to eventually, or people wouldn't be able to look at that commercial and be like, I wonder who that guy is. He's kind of funny. Whether his YouTube channel or whatever, or his social media or whatever was at the end of that commercial or not, if people are feeling him, right? If people are vibing with him, they're going to eventually seek him out. That is incidental to everything. But yet again, Phil's too stupid and he doesn't think that far. Maybe he's not even capable of doing it. I don't know. But it's certainly piggy-tarred shit, to say the very least.
Girl, I don't care about who's a druggie. I don't care about how anyone acts outside of what's on fucking YouTube. Because guess what? It's none of my fucking business. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with you. The bottom line is, the situation with Toby Turner, there are 3 groups of people who should be involved. Toby Turner, the girls who are involved, who are accusing him of this stuff, and if it's true, the police. Those are the 3 fucking
part. He says that he doesn't care, he doesn't give a shit, that's none of his business. Yet, he is intensifying the situation amongst his audience on, look at how bad this person is. Look at all the nonsense that's being said about him. I don't give a fuck about that shit. You shouldn't give a fuck about that shit. But you know who should give a fuck? Toby Turner, because that's his problem. The girls that are allegedly accusing him of this bullshit, and the police. If you're a kid and you're hearing the police, you're automatically going to have the association. Oh shit, maybe that guy did do something wrong. Maybe that guy is bad. Oh man, maybe I don't want to... maybe he's not that funny. Maybe he's not really that nice guy. And Phil has always been the type of person to try to sabotage, air quotes, the competition if he can. You know, the same slander and all the same bullshit that is supposedly said about him on a day-to-day basis. He's never had any problem doing that to other people. Look at the smirk that he currently has. He doesn't have no issues with doing this. This, ladies and gentlemen, is like a 20-minute video that he did going over this. But he don't care, though. But he don't give a shit, though. Right? Right? Right.
Groups whose concern it should be and whose business it is to talk about this whole scandal, period. No one else has any kind of fucking information or frame of reference between the people who were directly fucking there and know what happened. So everyone on the internet can make 500 reaction videos and drama alerts and bullshit about it to get views, money, right? Because right now what's popular on YouTube? It's the dirt. So it's not monetizing gameplay anymore. Now it's we gotta get the dirt on celebrity. Yeah, let's make the money. Who gives a flaming fucking
It's also
shit?
interesting too that he thought of Toby Turner as a celebrity. I wouldn't necessarily do it, but maybe he would. But yet again, even more reason for him to be that much more spiteful. Because he was doing gaming before Toby Turner, before PewDiePie, before iJustine. How dare these people, before Angry... Well, yeah, I guess you could say before Angry Joe. How dare... Well, no. I mean, maybe Angry Joe was doing some type of gaming-related content as long as Phil. Maybe. I have to go back and watch the that guy with the glasses series. In any case, how dare these people overshadow me? You know what I'm saying? How dare they outshine me, if you will? That's bullshit. And that's really how he thinks. And then all this pig whistling you're hearing here is legit him just slandering that dude. He's literally he's propagating the story without trying to seem like he's propagating it. Oh, I'm too big for that. Oh, I'm too mature for that bullshit. I don't give a fuck about that. I don't care about that. But shit, the police, if the police are involved, kids, maybe you should think about who you're giving all your time and energy to. And remember, those guys, they get hundreds of thousands or millions of views, and they're making crazy money off of that. While all the hardworking, remember that all the hardworking gaming YouTubers out here are just trying to put out good content. The drama has been around as long as YouTube has been around. Period. It wasn't like some new phenomena that happened to Darksydephil and then it spread out like some type of Gouty plague. It's been around. It's been around, just like Phil's been a bitch.
Anyone who wants to fucking say shit, you're gonna get fucking roasted when I get my fucking hands on you.
Alright everyone, welcome to our Seattle 2016 vacation vlogs.
Oh, the staycation vlogs. Don't worry, we're gonna go over some of those. Or we'll go over it. It's oh my god, this shit's so goddamn tedious. Cause they're cut up between like a minute and like 3-minute fucking episodes and shit. Maybe 5-minute episodes. It's just so much. Cause he was literally milking that shit for everything it was worth. Oh my god, such garbage. And then you're on vacation. You're on staycation, right? Despite the fact that you're supposedly broke, but you're on staycation though, and you don't do nothing. This was literally a day out without the hotel stay. They could have done all of this and just driven home. They got up early. They could have easily have woken up early, left the house at like 7 or 8 a.m., done all of this and been home by 8 or 9. It didn't have to be a weekend of really just mundane shit. And sadly for Panda, no cake and no sex. Just no sex cake. You got to feel bad for her. She didn't get nothing out of that. Wow. Hurtful. Just hurtful.
So you're pretty much doing what you do at home on your off time, watch movies, comb through comments, but you're in a hotel, some vacation.
It is kind of true, though. That's basically what he's doing.
He says there's no device connected. So if oh wow. Alright, so guess what? We may actually be watching our movies tonight on this television. Wow. I've never seen a TV in my entire life that only had one button. This one has one button.
Current view from the hotel room cheers and sociopathic detractor. Wow, that's now, breathtaking.
I want you guys to look real close at the bottom of this Instagram picture. That's the gin and tonic, right? Phil loves that shit. He likes his little straw or his little thing that's pricking out of it because it makes him feel like he's snorty. Now, I don't mean snorty as in him being a slob. I mean snorty as in the way of like being prestigious, if you will. Some really, really fucking old saying and shit. But I've been going over a lot of mafia stuff as of late, especially like the Chicago outfit. Or snorky is another word for it, is another way of using it as well. But in any case, he always has this prestige with this dumb shit. Now here's the thing: if you ever seen any of Phil's vacation vlogs or his tournament vlogs or whatever, this dude goes out of his way to pick up Tanqueray. You know what I'm saying? Or Sapphire, but usually Tanqueray. He goes out of his way. So on some of those vlogs, you'll see, you don't see it up here, but he usually has like those 1.75 liter bottles, green bottles with the handle of that gin on tap, and he will kill that in a weekend. Now he doesn't have to because he's literally 30 or 45 minutes from home. He'll kill that in a weekend because this drink that you see right here, he'll have 3 or 4 of those. Let me give you an example. So if any of you guys ever saw the Seattle house tours, we're going to go over that this year as well. He had, when they showed up to the hotel, he bought either 2 or 3 bottles of that shit, of these 1.75 liter gin bottles. 2 or 3 of these damn things. They were out there, ladies and gentlemen, for 4 or 5 days. He had to have killed those things before he left. And you know Phil, he's not going to leave a single drop of gin left behind. So we're talking about this dude killed 2 or 3 of those in the span of like 4 or 5 days, maybe 4 days. That's a whole lot of alcohol to take in. And yes, Panda may have had a little bit too, but we all know who's really chugging that shit at night. So you know she didn't get no play. She didn't get no panty time at all those nights. She was probably too drunk. Think about it.
Couldn't get a view like that back in your home, back in your fucking bedroom / living at home, you fucking idiot.
God damn.
The response is, hey, sociopathic detractor, the only idiot here is you. Response from sociopathic detractor, suck my cock, you fucking cunt. Actually, why don't you go suck Phil and Leanna's cocks and rim their assholes while you're at it? So
wait. Was this coming live by heavy metal?
Too, because the statement by sociopathic detractor sounds similar to how Phil would talk in some ways. I just wanted to point that out. I thought that was kind of funny.
Thank you, heavy metal gamer.
Very prickly man here, or woman, we don't know, but pretty funny. That's a very straightforward argument to make. I think that's pretty good.
There you go. That's good.
Somebody then says, why are you following someone you don't like? He says, to let him know what a piece of shit he is.
Right to the point. Just how I like. There you go.
Perfect.
And here's your sink. Very basic, very small, on kind of a glass ledge. And there's this long glass ledge along this wall-length mirror in the bathroom.
We don't need to know what you're doing behind the photo, alright? We don't need to know that you're probably taking a nice deep load on that nice toilet right there. Yeah, we don't need to know this information.
Why did you then describe it then? That is...
Yeah, look how they glow. Now it's incredibly overpacked. People tend to stand in front right here. These are the fish tossers. Alright, so that's the waterfront. We're actually going to walk back to the market for a bit and look around before we head down there.
What a boring staycation. Jesus Christ. What are they doing? Like, oh god, so boring.
Woo! I love you, Seattle. I got a growlithe.
A growlithe.
I don't know how to fucking pronounce it anymore.
I don't know.
And that's another thing too. You moved all the way out there, right? With the promise, of going out there and meeting all these new people and meeting all these cultured people, right? And people who will understand you, appreciate you, and who will relate to you, yeah? That's your whole thing. That was the whole point of moving out there. And you wasted yourself, you wasted your time and Panda's time while you were out there. You didn't do jack shit. Interesting thing too. If you go back and look at the Mr. Huff Stuff videos where he went over where he found those gems of Darksydephil's FGC history. We went over one of them, may have been on the main channel, but we'll eventually go over all of them over here. Let me see here. I got a list because I am prepared because I'm a professional. I am not a professional. I just play one on YouTube poorly. Feels bad, man. Anyway, it's my best Tevin impression, which wasn't very good. I have let's see here. I have a list of these. There's like 5 of those FGC videos, if I remember correctly. In any case, the guy he's talking to, I think his name is Bumpkin. He's the guy who it's actually his podcast that Phil keeps calling into because, Phil has so much going on with him. I think that dude is actually from Seattle, or he was part of the Seattle crew. He used to be part of St. Louis's crew, and then I guess he moved to Seattle, or maybe he's just heavily associated with Seattle. I don't know. So maybe that was Phil's reason to go there. If that's the case, then that's not creative either. Excuse me. That wasn't very creative at all. He just went ahead and was just taking somebody else's idea and running with it, which just goes to show how unoriginal Phil is. Now, keep in mind, as it pertains to that move, for him and Panda the Move, they were initially supposed to go to Seattle, Florida, and Texas. All 3 places that Phil had taken Panda to, or Phil has been to himself. Maybe with the exception of Seattle. And he ended up just going ahead and settling on Seattle, when in actuality, Texas or probably even Florida would have probably been a better choice at the end of the day. But, you know, what are you going to do? This is what happens when you're not primed, or you're not properly prepared, I should say, for the outside fucking world. Like, he was willfully unprepared when he left his parents' home. And you've seen that in the years afterwards. It's amazing. It's really amazing that he's made it this far without killing himself. And I don't mean killing himself like in a suicide, like putting himself in a fucking situation where he ain't really fucked himself up. Killing I'm over exaggerating. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really, really surprised he was able to make it this far. It's insane. It's insane. And people wonder why there are so many other people who document this shit. Because it doesn't make any sense. It kind of goes against the laws, the general law of reality. Like, you know what I'm saying? You have someone who is failure incarnate, right? Who has shit and pissed on anything and everyone he's ever been associated with in his whole fucking entire life. And yet, he's still at where he's at. Now, don't be wrong, where he's at is not a favorable place. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't make money playing games. He makes money begging and whatnot. He can sit there and tell you that he has this fucking amazing life, but look at him on camera every day. You can only imagine it's probably 10 times as worse behind the scenes. And it may only be 10 times as worse because he's actually lonely. Because I doubt him and Catherine, sorry about that cat. Sorry about that panda. I doubt that there's a lot of interaction. Let's not even worry about panty time here. I doubt there's a lot of interaction between the two of them. I think she's content with that. I think he's the one who is miserable. And when you go back and you look at this shit, it's like, whatever he may have thought of Panda, he misses her. And he took all that shit for granted. And that shit probably bites him in the ass every time he wakes up. Especially if the theory is true, which it possibly could, that him and Catherine don't even sleep in the same room. Keep in mind, it's a theory. Not exactly a Theo theory, but it's a theory. His whole life is a fucking mess. Ladies and gentlemen, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Sometimes you should just appreciate what you have. That doesn't mean strive to not be better, right? But you should appreciate what you have. Yet again, that's a lesson that he wasn't taught either.
So this is their vacation. They're both just tapping away at their phones.
Tapping.
My thing is just, this is what they do at home. This vacation is food and video game shit. Pokemon. This is their home time.
Oh, but you see, it's not at their home, so therefore it's okay.
Not to spend this.
It's all okay in their heads. Their fucking twisted, warped reality.
I shouldn't be throwing shade. If this is what you want to do with your vacation, more power to you.
I don't know what the hell this says. I think it's supposed to be an LP or something. Yeah, obits? I don't know.
They're going out to get breakfast. They're going to go see something for like an hour. They're going to go get lunch. They're going to like a mall or something dumb where they could just like walk around and get fucking Pokemon. Right? I'm sure a lot of their plans center around like, oh, where can we go get fucking Pokemon? Then they go eat a big dinner and have some drinks. Then they go back to the hotel and watch movies on the dual screen. So, what a fucking staycation. So I did a quick little calculation, and for the 3 nights that he's staying, Monday night, Tuesday night, and Wednesday night, he's spending $1,400.
People can do what they want with their lives, with their money, with their vacation, with this. How dare he cry poor on Patreon?
Mm-hmm.
Say, I need money to stay afloat, and then flaunt this.
They could have relaxed. They could have stayed around.
Hey. In Phil's defense, he works really, really hard, and he needs to relax. He needs to separate himself. He needs to extract himself from his business, right? And he needs some relax, and he needs some relaxation. You know what I'm saying? He needs that time. It's a work expense. It's part of his business. We should be more sympathetic to him, ladies and gentlemen. We really should. And she's right. How dare he cry broke on Patreon and then go on staycations, even though Patreon didn't even help pay for that. More than likely, he ain't sat there and pocketed that money. You know what I mean? That got burned on some frivolous bullshit. That's YouTube money. That's what begging for all those views did. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, Teespring, Patreon, please watch the videos. Please binge watch the playlist. Please help continue supporting me and helping me keep my business afloat. He was begging on multiple fucking fronts. Keep it in mind.
Did the same shit that they're doing now.
Yeah, driven to it.
Yeah, they could have saved $1,400 by just driving back and forth.
Just the simple fact that he is easily spending probably more with like dinners and tickets and everything like that. He is spending more than $1,200 to stay in a hotel, to eat out, to go to all these places at a place that's 30 minutes away from his house is just astronomical. It really is. I don't know if anybody could be that ignorant in their finances.
Only if they knew. All those many, many years later. All those many, many years later. Only if they do. And then, keep in mind, at the beginning of this segment, it said $2,000 staycation. It actually might have been actually more than that, if you think about it. We're talking, who knows what kind of, souvenirs and stuff they brought back. Right now, we're just talking about the actual 3 days out there, or the 4 days, 3 nights. And then we're talking about meals and tickets for movies or whatever the hell they may have done. We're not talking about souvenirs and shit they may have bought too. You know what I'm saying? So, and Phil being ignorant with his money or being ignorant with his finances, it just comes back to the self-entitlement. I've earned all this. I deserve all this. I deserve more than what I have. And you should be gracious. You should be appreciative. You should be thankful that I'm willing to show this to you. Yeah, my haters can call it flexing, but this is me bringing you into my life. You guys are getting to see the fruits of my labor. You know what I mean? You see the work and you get to see the play and relaxation. Is that not worth you guys supporting me on Patreon each and every month? Is that not worth you supporting the playthroughs of the games that I play? I have a life too. I want the best, just like I want the best for myself and Leanna, just like you want the best for yourselves, right? You guys need the support. You really do. Because if I fade away, if I stop doing this, then who's going to do it? Are you going to go to those other Muppets who fake reactions or do montages that cut out the grind and everything and take the experience away from you? I'm one of the last bastions of the raw content gamer out there. And if you guys don't support me, then what? Then you're just going to have a bunch of fakes, phonies, shills, sellouts. You guys don't want that, do you? That's essentially what Phil was pitching. He didn't make it sound as good as I did, but that's kind of what he's been preaching since he moved. To be honest with you, his whole career. His whole career he did that.
Alright. So that's our room. Hope you enjoyed the walkthrough. Okay, everyone, well.
Real quick. And then now, he's in such a bad position that he can't even do that anymore. Think about all the meals that him and Panda used to have, all the places they went throughout the relationship. He can't even do any of that with his wife now. None of that. Like, he allegedly can't afford it, unless mommy and daddy, who are supposedly sick and dying, are paying for it. Not even man enough to be able to afford that on his own. Can't do anything. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, in 2019, he complained that he didn't even have enough money to get his wife a birthday gift. Matter of fact, I don't think he said anything about doing it. I don't think they said anything about doing anything for their anniversary, or if he bought her anything for their wedding anniversary. And he'll never tell us what their actual relationship anniversary is, like when they started dating, because then, you know, some brain dead idiot like me is going to do the math, and then we're going to figure out what's what. So that's never going to happen. But this is someone who had to beg on his stream for a little bit of extra money just so he could get something for Kat, and didn't even do it as far as we know. But obviously, you know, who knows about that. But and then for her birthday dinner, they went and got Red Robin. Nope, they didn't get Red Robins. You would think that he would have done that. They got Sonic. He got her fast food. Couldn't even get her Chinese from the Chinese place around the corner that she likes. He had to go and get that bitch Sonic. She's not a bitch, but you know what I mean. He had to get that bitch Sonic for their birthday dinner. Even though a couple of weeks prior to that, they were sitting down having allegedly $30 bowls of ramen. He don't think about nobody but himself. He really don't. And he can hide behind, oh, it's my wife, bullshit, but he don't give a fuck about her. I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, she is window dressing, she's a curtain, she's a shield. That's all. That's all. And the fact that she's mute now, if you will, it's still not beneficial to him, but it's beneficial enough to where he can still control the narrative. Amazing.
Now, I hope you had fun. Being that I knew people were enjoying the playthrough, I decided to go a little extra long today. As you saw, I went a whole extra hour on stream, which I hope you appreciate. Quite honestly, let me take a look, because I have not looked at stream numbers all day. My God.
Oh, this is Pokemon Sun and Moon. Oh, this is classic. This is classic Darksydephil. Especially when, did you guys remember in the earlier segment when he talks about all the people Phil has had a beef with, and when he talked about Rich, he was like, oh, Rich needs to be more mindful when he puts tweets out there, because if I can't, because, you know, at such and such time of the day, because I'm sleeping and I can't respond and that can hurt me. It's over this right here. But let me let you guys see it first, and then we'll talk more about it.
Stream numbers were terrible. Wow, what happened? We never even, hold on. I'm actually trying to go back here. Did we ever even get close to 400? We didn't, did we? Here's the bottom line, and I'm tired of it now. No more excuses, alright? Because the bottom line is people are like, Phil's not engaged in his commentary, and Phil's commentary is boring, and that's why people don't want to watch the playthroughs of the stream. Bullshit! I'm loving this game, I'm voice acting, I'm engaged, I'm commentating on everything that's going on actively. Bullshit. I call massive bullshit on any idiot who says that about either the Watch Dogs 2, which I've been playing recently and really liking, or Pokemon. It's bullshit. So, I've had enough excuses. It just seems to me like people are fucking lazy and don't want to come out to the streams. I don't even know what else to say, you know?
Now, this is Phil's first reaction, and this is something if you've watched enough Phil content, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. His first response to anything and everything is to insult people. He cannot motivate people without having some type of negative conduit, if you will, to bounce off on. Either I shame you guys to doing this thing, right? Or look at these people that are already negative and bad to me. You have to stand up and fight for me against them. It's his only way of motivating people. He can't motivate people any other way. So when you have this situation with the stream, you're supposedly having a good time, you had a great session, whatever. You look down at the stream and you couldn't even pull 400 people, and you're like, what happened? What the fuck? And be like, oh, you guys are fucking lazy. It's your fault that the stream failed. Because it's never Phil's fault, right? It's you. It's all of you people's fault. You weren't dedicated enough. You weren't loyal enough. And then counters his own point by saying people are saying that, oh, the playthroughs are boring and I don't see him engaged. Bullshit. I'm playing this game and I love it. I'm playing Watch Dogs and I love it. Apparently 2 games out of probably many games I was playing at the time that it looked like, oh, he was just coming to work and going through the fucking motions. And people have been accusing him of that since like 2011, 2012. right? Probably even before that. At least since he's been doing this for profit, I should say. He's been accused of this. And yet it's still everybody's fault. And then when shit blows up, like when Rich calls him out on this shit right here, he sits there and gets mad and is like, why are you bringing light to this? Why are you fucking me over? You're hurting me in my business. Bitch, you're the one who said this, not Rich. Someone, and if I remember the story correctly, someone brought this to Rich's attention. He watched it in a detractor video and was like, oh, wow. And he decided to say something. Now, who gives a fuck what time it is? Rich doesn't have to sit there and send out tweets on your schedule. He'll send out a tweet whenever the fuck you feel like. And if you see it, you see it. If you're too busy, passed out, drunk at 3 o'clock in the morning because you were texting John, asking him to take you back, and he left you alone because, oh, Phil's drunk, I don't need to listen to that right now, that's your fault. That's not Rich's fault. And don't get me wrong, fuck Rich, but but under reasonable circumstances, at least in this situation, he doesn't have to tweet on your schedule. No one does. And Phil comes up with the most amazing and ridiculous fucking excuses for everything. It's nuts. A normal person doesn't do that. A rational person, if you will. Because are any of us really normal by following this fucking waste of fucking nut? So normal probably is not the word for it. Any reasonable person, to at least some extent, do not come up with reasons like this. You fucked up. A bigger content creator called you out on it. Hey, you're right. My bad. How hard is that? How hard is it for you to sit there and fuck up, whether in a video or on Twitter or wherever, and a few people point it out, and you're like, all right, my bad. What's the point of getting defensive over something that you more than likely knew you did wrong? Or have a conversation and explain your half of it. And if you can get over with it, great. If you can't, or if you come to your own realization and be like, you know what, that was kind of a bad look on my part, or that was kind of fucked up, just take the L and move on. Who gives a shit? When you go ahead and blow it up and do all this dumb crap, you're only making it bigger, and you're only making it worse. And then he sits there and blames the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics for fucking his life up. No, ladies and gentlemen, this piece of fucking, this worthless piece of fucking bacon with way too much fat on it and whatnot is the reason why he's all fucked up. Nobody else. A lot of this stuff could have been ignored. A lot of this he could have just apologized for. For whatever reason, he thought he was too big to do that, and he suffered the consequences. And he keeps suffering the consequences. And he will continue to. Long after he's gone, people will still laugh at this shit. And he'll still be at wherever shithole he's at, brewing about it. Wondering, or not wondering, but blaming everybody else for what he could have been or what he could have accomplished. When in actuality, he probably wasn't going to be able to do it anyway. Not without putting in some real effort. And what he did, ladies and gentlemen, for all those years, even up to the current, is not effort. It's really not. It's the bare fucking minimum. The detractor community as a whole proves that.
At the end of my stream, I looked at viewership and I said, well, sorry everyone, but it looks like viewership plummeted today, and I don't know why.
And this right here, actually, to be honest with you, is one of the reasons why he hates Rich. Like this particular interaction is what ended up starting essentially the shit ball that rolled downhill, or shit boulder, if you will, that rolled downhill on why him and Rich can't get along. And in truth, as those videos I told you about earlier, we're going to mirror over here and on the main channel, Rich has followed Darksydephil for a long time. Since the beginning, nah, but definitely earlier on. And there was a lot of people who have said, out of the Rich detractor community, that like Rich was literally watching his every fucking move, like very, very close. Like he was absorbing everything. Now, whether that's true or not, I couldn't tell you. But there's no detractor who does that. There's just not enough time in the day, and there's certainly not enough snorty fucks to give to catch him for every little thing. You know what I'm saying? And this is coming from an asshole who does hours upon hours of long videos on him. You know what I'm saying? I can't catch everything. I don't want to. I catch what's interesting to me, and that's it. And his past has, since I started, honestly, has always been more fascinating than what he's doing at current, unless it's something big, or unless it bleeds back into something that he's done in his past. You know what I'm saying? But that's me. That's kind of like my niche and whatnot. Don't get me wrong. The day-to-day stuff is funny if you can keep up with it. You know what I'm saying? If you can keep up with it. But it's much. But as a detractor and as time has gone on, I've learned that sometimes what Tevin, Theo, Argent doesn't do content like that anymore. But the big three, you know what I'm saying, as it pertains to commentary and whatnot. These guys, they sat back and they waited to see how things progressed and then give you the whole story. You know what I'm saying? And as time has gone on, I see that. And like I said, you pick and choose, to be honest with you. But you can't catch everything. You can't catch everything. But allegedly, Rich was on top of all that shit. Just because he didn't make videos on it doesn't mean he wasn't on top of it. But like I said, that's all alleged.
As we've already had this conversation.
In truth, what Rich tweeted at him wasn't even, or what he tweeted wasn't even that bad. It wasn't even really calling him out. It was like, yo, dude, these people are supposed to be coming to you to relax. This isn't a job for them. You know what I'm saying? And Phil's like, oh, well, you don't understand my frustration. What the fuck does that have to do with anything? As the content creator, that's on you. As the air quotes business owner, that's on you. You putting that frustration out to the audience, well, for him, fans or whatever, shows your inability and shows a lack of maturity that these people that you supposedly tell these people that you possess. And if you can't demonstrate that, right? If you don't exhibit the very qualities that you say that you have that makes you better than other content creators, then what good are you? Just something to think about.
Alright, I'm not going to continue to live stream this game because it looks like people aren't coming out for it anymore. Now, admittedly, then, with my frustration in my head, I said something completely wrong, something I shouldn't have said, something that, of course, every motherfucker on the internet who steals my videos, who illegally records my streams, and who takes every
and here's the thing about this, and people called him out on it back then, or at least I hope they did. He wasn't really sorry. He was just mad. He was just sorry that he got called out. And he got called out by a big content creator that he couldn't ignore, or he couldn't try to slam or try to disregard. That's what it really came down to. And it's because of fuckboy behavior like this is the reason why no one takes him seriously now. It's the reason why people like Rich and people like the Quartering come around every once in a while to profit off of him, because that's all he's worth. He'll never get better. He'll never change. He'll never do right for himself nor anybody around him because he can't. So what do you do with people like that? You profit off of them. You profit off of them because that's all they're worth. And in a lot of ways, if it's true, how much time Rich used to actually really focus on him, it's Phil. Then in actuality, it's Phil's fault. And the funny thing is about the Rich situation is Rich swears up and down that he learned a lot from Phil and a lot of his blunders and mistakes, right? And he was able to circumvent or navigate his way through some of the bullshit by the crap he saw from Phil. The problem is, and you'll see it in some of these videos that are going to be coming up, he actually made some of the same mistakes Phil did. He may have not made them in the same way, but still had the same outcome. So you really didn't learn much then, did you? You know what I'm saying? You kind of didn't. That's why Rich opened and closed like 3 or 4 Patreons when he should have just opened it once and that's it. Like if one day I open a Patreon, maybe I will, maybe I won't. We don't know yet. But if we agree to do so, do I expect some hate? Do I expect backlash? Sure. Absolutely. But if I believe in it, then I'm going to still do it at the end of the day. And you're not obligated to do a goddamn thing. You want to contribute to it? You can. If you don't have to. End of story. There is no extra caveats. There isn't me needing to go into any large or long monologues about the shit. End of story. That's it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But to sit there and close it and open it and close it and open it because you're getting pushback, or because other big content creators are saying certain things that weren't necessarily addressed at you, but it was a very clever way on their part to poke at you to see how you react, that's your fault. Nobody else. If you didn't have any confidence to stand behind it, you shouldn't have done it.
Comment I ever say out of context to find that one moment when I say something wrong. Here's what I said. I'll publicly admit it because it's out there, duh. And I didn't mean it. As I said, well, it must just be the people.
Meant it. That's why you said it. That's just like how he says, oh, I didn't mean to call all these people shills or anything. I didn't have enough characters on Twitter. Fuck that. You said it because you meant it. And you heard the anger in his voice when he said that shit. That's what the fuck you felt. If he didn't get called out, there would have been nothing to apologize about, and then we wouldn't have to hear we wouldn't have to hear all this pig squealing on, I didn't mean it. I was just mad. Well, Phil's probably at his most honest when he's mad. Or when he's drinking. Something to think about.
Lazy. People want to see my streams, and people are asking me for streams, and they're begging me, and they're upset that I'm not going to live stream, but then when I do a great quality live stream, they don't show up, so they're just lazy. Obviously, that's not actually what I feel. There's got to be something going on, right? I mean, anyone.
But who the fuck are you to sit there and say that when I put out a quality and great live stream? I think the audience dictates that, not you. You don't get to just, what's the word I'm looking for? Or what's the term I'm looking for? Or the phrasing. You don't get to project that to them, right? Off the rip, and then expect them to regurgitate that back to you. You don't get to do that. And that's something that he's always done. Because when you have a bunch of kids, a bunch of wheelchair symbols, a bunch of man babies and shit like that, you can do that shit and get away with it. At least for a little while. But you can't do it forever. And that's exactly what he's done. A classic manipulation tactic that was poorly executed because he put no thought behind it. He's merely reacting to a response that he has. You saw that with the initial stream itself. They got him in this fuckboy situation, and you're seeing him respond yet again without really thinking it out afterwards. It's just a kid saying he's sorry just so he can move this the fuck along. Not even realizing or addressing the actual damage, right? And what kind of recourse and what kind of steps he's going to have to take to fix it in the long term, because he has no plan to fix it in the long term.
Just called his viewers lazy. They're not coming out to the streams because they're lazy. No, I don't think that's what it is. There's something going on. I don't know what it is, but there's something obviously going on that's not engaging viewers on my live streams. I don't know what it is. Because I said that
that's what I told you about that negativity. He can't motivate people without some form of negativity. Whether he has to be directly negative to them to shame them, or have someone else be the issue, and you guys need to rally against them to protect me. If he doesn't have those two things, he has nothing. He has abso-fucking-lutely nothing.
So the whole internet now has to turn me a new asshole because Phil said something at the end of his stream on fucking Saturday. So that's it. So now you got these kids who literally, and I'm not kidding, this is not an exaggeration, there's kids who literally every day record my entire fucking stream illegally, which is completely illegal. You can't record anyone's live streams or videos on YouTube. They do it, and they take that one moment. They don't have any of the discussion about how my business is down, how I really need help, and I'm trying to get suggestions for improvement. And one of the major suggestions for improvement has been to cut down on live streaming. And we had this whole experiment this week with Pokemon that if attendance stayed up, that I would keep streaming, and that it didn't stay up, and all of a sudden it was down, and I was very disappointed that none of that in context. The one thing that's put up, Phil saying, man, these people are really lazy because they're not coming out to watch my streams. Of course that makes me look like a fucking piece of shit. And I knew nothing about any perspective whatsoever, and all I saw was a video that says DSPGaming says his viewers are lazy, and I clicked on it, and the one thing you hear is, wow, my viewers are lazy because they didn't come to my live stream. I would hate me too! But that's not reality, and that's not life, right?
That is the reality, though. And sadly, that is your life. Because one, if you look at, we already saw the clip of the live stream. He thought he was coming off a good session. He saw something he didn't like. He reacted negatively in the story. That whole bullshit context and, oh, my business is doing bad and this, that, and the third. This goes back to something I keep telling people, and I've told you guys before, that he needs you to be emotionally invested in him, right? That's what he's looking for. He's not looking for people to be entertained in the content. He wants you to be invested in him first. The content is supposed to be the lore, right? It's supposed to bring you guys in. You're supposed to be invested in him, and then no matter what he puts out after that, you guys will just gobble it up because, oh, I want to see Phil do well. That goes back to that bullshit about being the underdog and all that fucking stupid crap. He needs you to be emotionally invested in him, because if he can get that from you, then he can turn you guys into a bunch of fucking derricks to where you're stealing your mommy's credit cards and shit when you're not looking at pedo crap to fucking go ahead and help him out. That's exactly what he looks for. And you're actually hearing about that right here. Hey, you said something really fucked up at the end of your stream. No. You don't have everything in context. If you were you talking about your finances while you were streaming that game? No, you weren't. You were talking about that bullshit on a pre-stream or some crap that no one was probably listening to back then anyway, because no one appreciated what was in it until later on. Well, not all of it anyway. Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? You wanted people to be so invested in you that they just take the shit on the chin and just come back better the next day. That's kind of, it's like what they call it, like negative reinforcement, or turning a negative into a positive, right? A negative situation happens, you react to it negatively, but these people know you, and they know that you don't, that they know you, and I was going to say that they don't necessarily know you, they don't necessarily believe you mean that, but Phil means just about everything he says. So, in actuality, you reacted negatively, but they understand that you acted negatively because of whatever. Insert bullshit excuse here. We'll do better next time. Essentially, it's like it's basically like someone who beats their wife, and she immediately apologizes because you had to lift your hand to her. It's like that. It's really like that. It's really fucking disgusting behavior. Now, granted, that's on the extreme, but you guys understand what I mean. It's kind of like that. And the fact that he's been able to convince people over the span of years, at least some people, to fall into that is amazing. Absolute tarred shit, though, but amazing nonetheless. You know what I'm saying? That you have this piece of human garbage that can command people to do stuff. Or who can abuse people the way he does, and they'll still come back to him and say, you're great, Phil. We love you, Phil. Please keep putting out this great content. Is insane. And Patreon kind of proves that to some degree. Absolutely insane.
Truthfulness of the situation. It's not that I said that. It's that some fucking idiot spins it to say that's the only thing Phil ever said. Here's the negative thing Phil said. Now, here's the thing.
Think about what he said there. It's not that I said that. It's because someone put it out there that I said that. Someone broadcasted it and gave it more light that I said that. What was there to spin? It was just the clip of use of Phil Burnell, DSP, Darksydephil, you know what I'm saying, Dark Geppetto, Darksydekaren, bitching, calling his audience lazy, which is exactly what you said. What's the spin? And even if they put everything into, let's go by devil piggy logic here and say that hypothetical Pignos is our favorite game. The first one for the year, actually. Let's say that someone was willing to go through the trouble and cut all those segments up where he begs and shit he begs to keep his business up and running, and then you put that with the clip where he calls them lazy. It makes it look worse. It makes it look that much worse. Because at the end of the day, people are going to be like, well, why the fuck are you blaming these people because you screwed up? Or why do you expect these people to do all the heavy lifting when you're the content creator? And now he opens up Pandora's box, if you will, to a whole nother conversation, or a whole cluster of conversations, if you will, where he's not going to have no stable answers for. And he's just going to talk himself into circles. I'm sorry, I thought Mr. Valedictorian would be smarter than that. I thought he would be a little bit more aware of his situation and his surroundings. Anything you say can be twisted if you put yourself out there to be susceptible to it. You got to think before you talk.
Say something. I want to say thank you to those who, from an outside perspective, see this.
And that's the reason why he ends up thanking Rich later, which is, we're coming up on that shit. Look at this scumbag look. This was a great screenshot. This is the reason why he ends up thanking Rich later on, or right around this time, because he wanted Rich off his back, and he wanted him off his back quick, because if Rich really starts to latch onto that shit, he's going to be hurting. Phil's going to be hurting bad, and he knows he can't fight Rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, Rich just has too many numbers. And more importantly, I don't know if he knew this, but if he didn't, then he should consider him, then pig luck does exist. He doesn't want nor need the Review Tech USA haters spilling in on him either. You don't want that. And I've seen enough Review Tech USA detractors, if you will, or haters or whatever, that they're very aware of him. Him, Wings, Low Tier God, Chris Chan, all them guys. They're very aware of all those people. You know what I'm saying? And trust me, you don't want that shit to bleed over. You really, really don't. And DSP has been fortunate that, at least with the Wings of Redemption community, that he hasn't had a lot of bleed over. He's been very, very fortunate. You know what I'm saying? There's only a few Wings of Redemption trolls that I can think of that actually do DSP content, but none of them do it on the regular. They just kind of sprinkle it in. The one name that comes up to me is Lumix, but he doesn't do it all the time. You know, that's a once in a blue moon thing, if you will, or it's a once in every once in a while type thing. He doesn't do that on the regular. You know what I'm saying? Because one, they're not known for that. You know what I'm saying? They're there for Wings. And everybody kind of has their niche. But as I've said in videos last year, in 2020, eventually you're going to see detractors cross over and go into the lolcow shit, or go into other lolcow shit eventually. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to focus on more than one lolcow, sure, but I think you're going to see people at least try to, you know, sprinkle it in, try to mix it up a little bit, and there's nothing wrong with that. Eventually.
And they kind of like wake me up to reality, because the bottom line is, you know, yesterday the stream went offline and I didn't think anything of it, and I uploaded my videos like usual, and I played Watch Dogs and all this, and I really didn't hear anything all day. I didn't hear anything, and all of a sudden overnight, apparently I got a bunch of tweets in regards. It's Rich from Review Tech USA who watched the.
You said that. You said what you said. You turned off the stream. You went and played some other bullshit game or whatever, and you went along with your day and you didn't hear anything. I.e., I conditioned these people to be abused by me, so I don't expect a whole lot of blowback. But then you're thankful that this whole situation came about, because if not, you wouldn't have seen the error of your ways and woken up to reality. But I thought these people are assholes that are out here to make you look bad, and they're fucking with you in your business, but yet they help you see the error of your ways? Well, that doesn't make sense. That basically what you're saying, Phil, is that if this didn't get any attention, you would have just kept abusing these people when they don't do what you want. And you wouldn't have cared, because there wouldn't have been enough attention brought to it, or there wouldn't have been big enough content creators that would have given a fuck to say anything to you, and the cycle of hate and abuse would just keep going. Right? Like, that's essentially what he's saying. Semantics.
Video from the kid who steals my stuff on a daily basis, that piece of shit, watches this fucking out of context video, and he tweets me and he says, Phil, you know, this video is the reason why people are turned off to your streams and turned off to you as a person on YouTube and your content. This is why people hate you on YouTube, because of comments like this. And I look at it and immediately I'm like, but this is a completely out of context comment.
No,
right?
See how he's still defending it? Because he's not sorry. He's not sorry. He's only sorry that he's, if anything, he's sorry that he has to apologize for it. But he's not sorry. I legitimately feel this way. He does it now. You see it more prominently now. But he abuses these people because he feels that's the only way he can get through to them. And so it's no different than anything else. It was a regular day of abuse because you guys didn't react or perform the way I wanted you to. Hopefully you guys do better tomorrow. Fuck off. And he didn't see nothing wrong with it. That's why his dumbass is defending this now. How the fuck are you supposed to be apologizing for this shit, right? When you're defending it at the same time and say it wasn't that big of a deal. If it wasn't for that piece of shit who steals my content, putting it out there. How sorry are you then, dude? More pig-tard shit from the Lord of Snorts.
It's the one moment of weakness where I said something bad that I openly admit now. I apologize for it. It was wrong. I shouldn't have said that, and it's certainly not the case. I don't think my viewers are lazy. That's bullshit. But anyway, Rich sees this, and he tweets it, and he's well-intentioned, and I appreciate that he tweeted it, because I look at it like, wow, Rich is right. Looking at just that moment of what I said, completely out of context, makes me look like a piece of shit, and he's absolutely fucking right. And I shouldn't say stuff like that publicly, and that's a shortcoming of mine, because I'm so real, because I talk about this stuff with you, and I share this personal experience with you on YouTube all the time. Stuff like that, that's a mistake, comes out, and that's what becomes the focus of the negative assholes on YouTube. So all that happened...
So, I abuse you guys because I'm so real. And because I let you in on my life, right? And I do all the supposed hard work, so I need you guys to work equally as hard so I can keep doing this hard work and also and benefit from the fruits of my labor, of our labor, sorry. Because I'm that real. That's why I abuse you. I only abuse you because I love you. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes y'all don't listen. So sometimes I have to say things. I don't necessarily mean it. Even though I keep saying it to you every time you guys keep doing stuff wrong. But I don't mean it, though. I don't mean it, though. You know, because you understand me, right? You understand me and the frustrations I have, right? It's yet again like those multiple stories of women getting beaten by their fucking husbands and shit. And you hear this bullshit thing about, oh, he's just going through a lot right now. He has a lot going on at work. He has this. Yeah, he's fucking his fucking secretary at work. That's what that is. And he keeps hitting you because you allow him to keep hitting you. No different with these ass clowns. He abuses these people because they allow him to keep abusing them. He takes advantage of them because they allow him to take advantage of them. He says what the fuck he feels like to them because he knows they're just going to sit there and take it. If that shit right there is an example of abuse, I don't know what is. And that's a very, very good example of it. And he's gotten away with that for years. And he can justify that shit all he wants. But that's what it is. Do I think Phil has ever put hands on Panda? No, not. Psh, please. Look at his hooves. Look at his hooves. He's never been in a fight in his life. If nothing else, if nothing else, you've just seen these hooves used to pick his ass up. He's never thrown a punch in his goddamn life. And if he did, it never landed. Let's be honest. He's not built for that. And weak men who beat women usually can't do anything about anything in a confrontation with another guy. Except for getting beat up, of course. More often than not. But Phil is not someone, do I think, that abuses women. At least not physically. But do I think he emotionally abuses people? Or verbally? Absolutely. In some way, shape, or form. And that's why Panda was strong enough to get the fuck out. Because I think she put up with that shit for a while. And she got a lot of that verbal abuse, right? And eventually she smartened up and was like, I can do better than you. Cat will get there eventually. And you've already seen that with his audience. You saw that with John and Howard. That whole bullshit with that, well, not bullshit, but the whole situation with the John and Howard response is because Phil had been prodding, if nothing else, had been prodding them for a goddamn year just about. Because he couldn't get neither one of them, mainly John, to jump on and do any content with him. That's why he sat there and was lashing out, sneak dissing them on weekend previews, Ask the King, Hate Live, in pre-streams. He had been taking shots at them guys for a better part of a year before the response even came out. And then he acted like he didn't do nothing wrong. Fuck out of here with that. But we'll address that when we get there. But yet again, you're just seeing some of the abuse. A good part of it, actually. Abuse that has scars that last to this very day.
Is that hundreds, if not thousands, of people who follow his Twitter?
And this is just my summation on the situation, but that's one of the reasons why we'll never get a tell-all from Panda. I don't think we'll ever get it. I don't think. Now, it could still happen, obviously, but I don't think we'll get it. I think she's moved so far past Phil that she pities him enough to not do that to him. To be honest, I wouldn't say it's lingering pignosis or anything. I think she pities him just that much, especially now that she's free, right? I think she realizes that you're just a pathetic individual and I don't need to strike you down. I could strike you down. I could literally pull what Kimberly Brinks did and go to every fucking detractor who's worth a damn, or whoever will say it the loudest, and spill it all. And make quite a bit of money out of it and come out of it looking clean. But I'm past that. I'm past you. And if nothing else, I just pity you at this point. So I don't see the need to do that to you. I'm not mad at you. I don't hate you. I don't despise you. I pity you. And that hurts more than anything. And I think if Panda's smart, Panda knows that. Her silence hurts more than anything. Because as long as she stays silent, then people will keep surmising about what happened and will continue to, and he has to keep fighting it. Same thing with John and Howard. That's why you never got another John and Howard response. You know what I'm saying? What they did cut deep enough. You know what I'm saying? And Phil's the one who's still bitching and complaining about it. Everybody else moved on. Matter of fact, in his recent rant about that, he pointed out that he hadn't done any content with John in 5 years. He said John disappeared from the internet for after 2 years, which means what, ladies and gentlemen? It means that he's still keeping track of John and Howard online. This idiot is still going out of his way to keep track of them guys, to see what they're doing. I'm surprised no one pointed that out. He's still keeping track of them guys. Yikes. He's still keeping track of Panda. It was in what, 2018 or 2019? It was either late 2018 or 2019. Panda was on Instagram. She went to a Starbucks and they misspelled her name. And she thought it was kind of funny, so she put it out on Instagram. Phil, like a week or two later, jokes about that shit during one of his gameplay streams. He wouldn't have known that unless he looked it up, or unless he saw it. So that means he keeps tabs on her too. And I'm sure Panda knows that. And Panda has even told people on Instagram who messaged her saying, hey, we're really glad for you, yada, yada, yada. You should see Darksydephil now. She's like, I'm past that. You know what I'm saying? I don't hate him. I don't do anything, but I don't talk to him about, I don't talk about that. And something like that must hurt Phil, because she's clearly and truly moved past him. He can't say the same. He can try to fake it. He can try to pretend that he does, but he really hasn't. And that's very, very clear.
I watched the video and said, wow, DSP's a piece of shit. I insulted people because I was fucking so frustrated about stuff, and obviously I'm an idiot for saying that, and I apologize for it. Thanks for listening. Had to get this off my chest. I apologize for being stupid.
Look at that. Look at how beaten up he is. Look at how beaten up he is. And you want to know why he's so beaten up? Because he's not sincere. He had to try real hard to try to come across like he really meant anything he said there, and he didn't. The only thing that he was sorry about is that he failed. He failed as an entertainer. He failed to damage control. He failed to convert Rich to his side and see things his way. He's a fucking failure. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is the face of it. Clear as crystal. He spent more time trying to convince people that, hey, it's okay that I treat you guys like shit, than actually just being sorry. Because he's not sorry. Because when the next stream fucking flops, he's going to do the exact same goddamn thing. Because that's what he do. When things don't go the way he wanted, abuse is where we go. And there are very few people who look at it that way. There's probably very few people who want to even address it in that way. But that's what that is. It always has been.
And being human and saying dumb things every once in a while. Understand that's not the end-all be-all of who I am, okay? In a nutshell, over the past several months, I've been streaming at a very high-quality bitrate on Twitch TV. Now, Twitch TV has a set of rules that says that you should...
Here's the thing about this. We're going to talk about quality and all this stupid crap. He talks so much about how, oh, I need to stream at this high bit rate, and I need to record here because I want my content to look good. The content, the contents of the content is garbage. Who gives a fuck what it looks like? it can look whatever you want it to look like, right? As pretty as you want. But if it has no substance, then who gives a fuck? Now, with that being said, this is the same tard who sat there and spent years upon years defending the practice of recording with a camcorder pointed at his TV. And it's the same idiot who said he wanted to have a better camera so it could give him better clarity when he's pointing that camera at that screen. This is before he had a webcam for himself and all that bullshit. He's been pushing that camera agenda for a while instead of going to direct capture. My theory is the reason why he didn't want to go to direct capture is because he thought that would be against copyright. And he was like, oh, I'll let all these other people come in, right, with all this money and everything and invest in it and do the fucking direct capture. And then eventually they'll all get taken down and I'll be last man standing. And then that didn't happen. Because it was a dumb thing to do in the first place. It was a dumb thing to think of. Mr. I'm going to outlast and I'm going to outlive everybody. I think that was his reason for not going to direct capture. And then when everybody and their grandmother had it, he had no choice, but by then he was so many years behind the goddamn ball. He, from a software standpoint, was completely uneducated and couldn't do jack shit. And from a hardware standpoint, he was just impotent as he is in bed. That's why he needed all those people to help him. Being years and years behind the ball. Look at his streams now. Look like day one shit. He should have had a green screen. He should be up where essentially where everybody's at least when it comes to the standard of streaming. He's not even there. He's still way fucking behind. And he thinks a new PC and a new laptop and a new chair and a new green screen is going to fix all that? Nah, bitch. You can have all the fancy bells and whistles all you want, but if you don't have any substance, then who gives a fuck? And that's the one thing you can't buy. You can't buy substance. You can't buy depth. You can go ahead and try to mask it all you want, but you can't buy those things. And that's why he's the failure he is now. But let's watch more though.
Stream at this certain quality, which is lower than what I've been streaming at. From everyone who's told me, they said, well, Phil, partners are able to stream it whatever they want. Don't worry about it. We know you want to do higher quality streams. Just go ahead. You shouldn't have a problem. I've done that for over 2.5 months without a problem. All of a sudden, earlier this week, a Twitch staff member came into my stream in the middle of the Assassin's Creed Unity stream and said, you need to lower your stream bitrate, basically, or else. Now, they were very polite, and I want to make that understandable. It wasn't like they came in throwing pink slips and threats around. But the bottom line is this. Twitch usually doesn't bother you unless there's a good reason for it, and if they felt there was a good enough reason to come into my stream and tell me to lower my bitrate, it means that basically I need to lower my bitrate or leave.
2,000 years later.
But YouTube is saying my views are either stagnant or down, and my profit is down. I'm making less money. And I'm sitting here like, what the hell? How could that be possible? How could it be that I had this big, positivity going on earlier this year in the spring, and then as soon as the summer hit, things slowed down, and now it's gone permanently, and, I'm playing all these new games now for the hardcore gaming season, which typically at the end of the year, when this time of year starts, I see a skyrocket in views because people who normally wouldn't even watch my stuff start coming out to watch the new games. They want to see what these new games are because they know the holidays are coming up. Which one do I want for Christmas? Or I only have this amount of money now, and a lot of people are calling this Broketober, right? The month where so many new games have come out, there's no way you could possibly afford them all. Which ones do you want to buy? Well, you got to watch someone play it first to find out. So typically I get this influx, and I'm getting none of that this year. My views are like this. And it's like, I don't know why. The only thing I can hypothesize, quite simply, is that YouTube fucked me still. I want to keep doing what I'm doing. I've been doing this for 8 years. But I want to keep doing what I'm doing.
12 seconds later.
Another suggestion, and I'm going to
First thing is, I like how he's failing doing what he's doing, but he wants you guys to up your ante, or he wants his audience and fan base and his cult to up their efforts so he can keep doing what he's doing, despite the fact that doing what he's doing is not getting him anywhere. It's actually causing him to regress and fail doing what he's doing. That's amazing. That's absolutely fucking extraordinary. But another key point there is that Twitch came in and told me to lower my bitrate. That means I'm doing something wrong. And because they came to me with this initiative, that means I should just leave. So instead of changing, which is the whole point of him leaving Twitch in the first place, instead of him changing, he decided to leave. He was already doing something that he probably shouldn't have been doing anyway. And he knew that. He knew there was some risk if he does what he does. Partner or not. They let him go with that shit for 2.5 months. One person comes in and says, hey man, I need you to bring your bitrate down. And whatever. They, as he said in his own snorts, they weren't rude. They weren't disrespectful. They were like, please bring your thing down. Bring your bitrate down. Phil goes into a bitch fit and says, oh, well, everybody else can do it. Why can't I do it? And they're like, just bring the bitrate down. He takes it as, oh, well, you're telling me to get off your site, then fuck you. And he took his ball of snorts and went home. Because he didn't want to change. Because he saw everybody, he thinks everybody else is getting away with it, so why can't I get away with it? Think about that for a minute. This is a 30-plus-year-old man. And this is how you're going to react. To some of those streamers who were half his age. And bring in triple what his viewership is. But this is how you choose to act. And then he has the nerve to sit there and say, people need to take me seriously. I should be revered. I should be respected. Okay.
Very clearly explain to you why this is not going to ever happen. Phil, just go back to Twitch, bite the bullet, go back to Twitch TV, and stream there exclusively, and stream like everyone else on Twitch TV, where you do streams that are catered toward your viewing audience, so it's more of an interactive stream between you and your audience than anyone caring about the game that you're playing, and we guarantee you that you'll get subs and you'll get more attention and stuff like that, alright? I have many responses to this, okay? First of all, bullshit. And I call it right now, bullshit. Anyone who thinks that going back to Twitch TV...
Now, this is right. This is just like the situation with calling his people on the stream lazy. This is the exact same thing. This is one of those piggy hair responses, right, to a situation because he's too stupid to think everything out. Oh, I was doing this. I was doing what I want. You won't let me do what I want. Now let me act negative. And he's never going to change. And that's why life has been so hard for him. And that's why life will always be hard for him. And even in a negative situation or in a negative environment, as one could look at it as the FGC was, right? Where that negativity can be endearing to some degree. They kicked him out. You got dudes that were so salty that they punch a motherfucker in the face if they lost a match. And yet they would kick him out. They'll kick Darksydephil out. And the other guy who did Bionic Punch ends up basically just skirting away. That was Noel Brown, if I remember correctly. That shit was hilarious. That shit was on World Star and everything. Think about that, ladies and gentlemen. And Noel Brown, from what I've been told, hits hard. He hits real hard. But they'll let that go. But they kick this piece of shit out. Take it all in.
Magic solution to all of my problems is just so diluted. Alright. It may temporarily give me some kind of a boost, but it's not going to give me any kind of long-term growth. I was on Twitch TV for 2 years. Guess how much growth I saw in the 2 years on Twitch TV? 0. I saw no active growth from my streaming on Twitch. If anything, Twitch actually...
What about all the money that you made off subs? How about that nonsense? And if you did the same thing year in, year out, why would you expect any real growth? Like real growth. Yet again, more of that piggy-tard shit.
2 years became more of a hassle because you had people who were in the stream chat who were subs. They were now entitled. We're entitled to constant new emotes and being entertained, and you have to cater to our ways because we're your Twitch subs. You have to do what we tell you all the time, and if you don't listen to our feedback, how dare you have a sub? And I had all this drama and people in the stream chat causing drama and shit, and it was so distracting from me just being able to play games and enjoy them, honestly.
And that right there is what you need to take in, because you see that now. He doesn't like being obligated to people. He doesn't like the fact that other people can pull his strings and do what they want him to do. He's always had a disposition, a negative disposition, I should say, to that. He sits there and propagates that shit all day, but he doesn't really mean it. He does it because he has to do it, not because he wants to. And that's why it comes across lazy. That's why it comes across as useless. And that's why he can't pull the viewership of an Almighty Tevin, an LSB, or even a Dark Dave Mirrors. He can't pull that consistently. And there's a reason for that.
And like I said, by the end of the 2 years that I streamed there, I was making almost no money live streaming on Twitch anymore, to the point where it wasn't even, it was more of a pain in my ass than anything else, because the bottom line is Twitch is a bad business. Twitch is not a good place to put out quality content. It's not. You are constantly nagged to advertise and or push subs or product so that you can make money, and they'll make money, they get profit from that, and that you get profit from that. Why do you think there's so many titty streamers on Twitch who are girls with big ass fucking boobs hanging out?
This fucking dumb tard is doing all this shit, right? And whatnot, because he still has YouTube. So I can shit on this because I'm still sucking at this teat over here. You know what I'm saying? Even though this one over the other one's about to fall out under me, and then I'm gonna have to go back on everything that I said about Twitch and go back to them like a good whore, which is the reason why I call Phil a whore. It's the reason why a lot of people call Phil a whore, because he don't have no loyalty to nothing. He really don't. He will drop his loyalty at the fucking drop of a hat. Trust me. If there was a situation with a burning building and he had to get his mother out, right? Either A, he can save himself and he won't get burned, or he may suffer some injuries, but at least he keeps his mother. He's going to go ahead and run up out that bitch. This guy would walk over his own parents if he thinks it would at least keep him going, failing the way he is failing, or even gives him an advantage. That's exactly what type of scumbag he is, because he's already done it to them. He's already done it to his friends. He's already done it to his fucking audience and his fan base and his cult and everything else. That's what he does. That's all he's ever going to be known for. Well, amongst other humiliating and embarrassing things.
And they barely can play a game, but they get tons of fucking money on Twitch, and Twitch makes out. That's a big demographic for them to make profit, because they don't care about the quality. If they did care about the quality, they'd stop telling you, oh, buy a t-shirt. Oh, here's a new kind of chat emote system, an exclusive emote thing, and this and that has nothing to fucking do with the stream. None of it has anything to do with sitting there and playing the game on Twitch, which is what the fucking website was created to fucking do. In fact, if you don't believe me, they changed their terms of service. Their terms of service and mission statement used to state that Twitch TV is the premier destination for gamers to share their gameplay experiences. It now says it's the premier destination for gamers to share.
I mean, but in truth, though, you're not a gamer, though. Like, you're a panhandler, to be honest. You can go ahead and have all that bullshit all you want on YouTube, but on Twitch, you're not a gamer. You're not insightful. You're not entertaining. Like, what good are you? You know what I'm saying? You're nothing. You only went over there for profit anyway. He only went over there for profit and because he saw other people doing it. And he thought it was going to raise his profile. Did it for 2 years, didn't get jack shit out of it. Now he's bashing it because someone told him to bring down his bitrate. YouTube falls out the next year, and then at the end of 2016, he runs back. He runs right back to Twitch. And he ran back to them, not because YouTube was basically toppling, was bottoming out for him, but also he found out that there was, people told him there was other ways he could make money over there, outside of subs. That was just his only reason for going back. And this is what happens, ladies and gentlemen, when you supposedly, in air quotes, take this hobby that you love so goddamn much and turn it into a goddamn job. And that's all he's ever done. And he's suffered for it. And the content has suffered for it. Not to say the content was ever really good in the first place. But he has suffered immensely for it. And for what?
Their personalities with others. I'm not kidding. Like, it says that. It doesn't say it exactly in that wording, but basically it says it's for interaction between a gamer and a stream audience, not about the game anymore. They don't care about that. They're terrible. They're a horrible business for gaming in general. They're just bad. They don't care about actual games. They don't care about what you put on your stream as long as this is coming into them. The bottom line is, I'm not going back to Twitch. It's just not going to happen. As so many people who seem to think Twitch streaming is like this amazing thing for gamers, it's not. It's not. Once again, it's the hype, it's the bullshit that people buy into all this time. And it's just not going to help me if I go back over it. Alright?
Eventually.
Testing, because this is the first time I have live streamed my 3DS on Twitch, and therefore I had to do things differently than I've been doing all week with Final Fantasy.
3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time cards.
That is going to be it for today's stream. I'd like to say thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. I actually, I played it half an hour later than usual, because I had the time to do so. And because I like Pokemon. I really do. I enjoy Pokemon a lot. So, thank you very much for being here on the stream. I appreciate it.
Look at how he's whoring himself out. You know what I'm saying? Some of his little Twitter icon is obstructed. Shit, some of the fill as part of Darksydephil is obstructed. What a whore. What a fucking whore. Can't even be man enough to stand by his own words. And he wants to be respected. Oh, it's so sad. So sad.
Before we adjourn, I guess I'll do the thank you shout-outs, although I'm going to be honest with everyone. I don't think many people did anything today. Let's take a look. Well, of course, we had that idiot, that troll who kept coming back with a million names. Just to give you some perspective, this is great. I'm going to read you all the names that he used. Ready? Eddie B40, Eddie B50. Oh, the Nerve 117 gave me some bits. Thanks, Nerve. Eddie B38, Eddie B37, Eddie B39, Eddie B70, Eddie B01, Eddie B48, Eddie B100. Oh, I'm not done. Then Mr. Vidar Viking gave a few bits. Then it was Eddie B02, Eddie B03, Kevin 2689, Eddie B05, and then Popsicolo gave me a cheer. They call me Jim Bob, gave me a cheer. No Hero gave me a cheer, and they call me Jim Bob, gave me 2 more cheers. The bottom line is, I'm not going back to Twitch. It's just not going to happen.
It's not gonna happen.
Welcome to KO Gaming. KO Gaming has launched. That's right, it's called KO Gaming. You can find it at youtube.com/KOGaming1. That's the web address to get to this channel, KO Gaming. So check it out. Go to KO Gaming 1 on YouTube and you will get it, okay? That's going to be a review that's going to go up on KO Gaming. Later in the week, we'll have Hits of the Week on KO Gaming. Thank you to those of you who have already checked out KO Gaming. If you've watched KO Gaming, you're over there, wow, I like this. Tell your friends. Word of mouth. Tell them, listen, Phil's doing something completely different. If you had issue with the way he used to do stuff on DSPGaming with tons of gameplay flooding in and shit, it's totally different experience on KO Gaming. Check it out. KO Gaming. 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 And people would like to also see you play Firewatch, but we also want reviews. You know, it's been a month since you actually did a game review. And we'd like to see you review the new games over doing just like a best of the week montage. I can't do game reviews and vlogging and hits of the week and everything. It's one or the other. I don't have time to do every kind of edited video possible. So I actually asked the public last week, I said, would you rather have game reviews or hits of the week? And everyone overabundantly said, do game reviews. You haven't done them in 100 years. So I did, and I'll be honest, not too many people checked out the game reviews that I put out. I don't think too many people actually cared about the game reviews that I put out. I hate to say it, but even though I really enjoyed doing edited videos and stuff this year, I don't really think they're catching on too well, at least to some of the ones that I put in a ton of time. I freaking put in 4+ hours to do my Street Fighter 5 review yesterday. And, I'll be honest, you know, it's been out for about a day. 3,000 views in a day for 4 hours of work. Not to say that am I angry? No, it's just a little disheartening. In the past couple of weeks, I've gotten a ridiculous amount of people asking me why I don't review games anymore. And I'm just kind of scratching my head like, I am reviewing games, but it's on here, on KOGAMING. They moved to the new channel. And I don't think a lot of people know that. I think a lot of people are just watching me do the increase in vlogging and saying, oh, I guess Phil, you know, is just doing more vlogging these days. He's not reviewing games anymore. That's not true at all. In fact, some of the reviews I've done this year are the best ones I've ever done. Look at this. Pokken Tournament review. I uploaded on Friday. It doesn't even have 3,000 views yet. And, I mean, you have to be alarmed when you take a look. I mean, the first episode, Fallout 4 review, I think everyone wanted to see, so look at the views. But then, it's kind of all over the place. You know what I mean? Street Fighter V, finally after being a month old, almost has 8,000 views. But I find it very hard to believe that people aren't interested in these full reviews that I'm doing that are higher quality than they used to be. Because the bottom line is, I'm putting an incredible amount of time and effort into this channel, and people aren't coming over. And that's frustrating, because if the vlogs are successful, I know that people like what I'm putting out. It's that people aren't adapting to the new formula of coming to this new channel. KOGAMING was doing ridiculously well. Ridiculously well. And then all of a sudden, the videos just don't get attention anymore. I'm like, what happened? I didn't change. I'm putting out the same kind of quality content. I'm covering the new games. This is what people...
Another example of whatever it was that you were doing that got you to the dance is one thing. But if you want to continue to keep that momentum going, you have to change up. You know what I'm saying? You have to change up. But yet again, Phil, being a fucking idiot, right? Because, oh, I was popular by doing all these shitty jokes and all the racism and all that bullshit. Why should I change? I'm doing everything that I was doing originally for the last, like, 8 years or whatever the case may be, and you guys love it. But now all of a sudden, no one's watching. Well, yeah, people grew the fuck up. You didn't, but everybody else did. And if you think that's what it is to be successful, keep doing the same shit over and over and over again, well, then that explains why you got fired from pretty much every job you ever had. It kind of explains why your relationship with Panda failed and eventually this one with Catherine's going to fail. It kind of explains why you're a fucking joke on Twitch and a joke on YouTube and a joke on Twitter. It's amazing how that happens. And your fucking your own website, which is, I don't know why the fuck you keep paying for that shit, because there's barely anybody there. Like, that right there is just a shrine to your failure that you pay for. That you pay for.
People said they wanted to see for the rest of the year. Where did the attention go? Why do I have 24,000 subs on KOGAMING and I'm only getting like 5,000 to 7,000 views a video? I don't know. What happened? How do you get that much? I don't get it.
You better take a sip, you fucking sleazy asshole.
I made an announcement last week that unfortunately my business is not in a good position right now, okay? What happened was, as you know, last year, I was actually in a good position. It looked like I had kind of plateaued. I was right here all of last year, 2015, and all of a sudden, false copyright strikes hit my channels. Not just DSPGaming, but also this channel, the King of Hate Vlogs, forcing me to remove pretty much every pre-stream video ever because they found a loophole in YouTube system where they could flag artwork, which is bullshit. I had legal permission to use any artwork that was ever used in any of my videos, but they abused the system and filed false copyright claims against me. And YouTube basically is not like the American court system where you're innocent until proven guilty. Instead, they just, you're guilty until you prove that you're innocent, which is ridiculous. So in order to protect my business, I had to delete every pre-stream video I'd ever done up to that point that used fan art, resulting in the millions of views dropping off of my channels, and my channels literally overnight last summer being removed from the YouTube search system. So when you went to search for a new playthrough or a new thing, it wouldn't come up. I would not come up. Or if I came up, I would be on, like, instead of being page 2 or 3 or maybe even page 1 like I used to be because I'm an 8-year YouTuber, now I'm on page 32. So no one will ever see my videos in YouTube search. And my business went from plateauing to being pretty good and being able to pay my bills to into the toilet. But YouTube is saying my views are either stagnant or down and my profit is down. I'm making less money. And I'm sitting here like, what the hell? How could that be possible? My views are like this. And it's like, I don't know why. But I want to keep doing what I'm doing. I don't want to change everything that I've done on YouTube in 8 years and completely change my personality and completely change my style of video to be what the popular guys do in order to make money. Because ultimately, even though this is my business, okay, and even though this is how I make my living, alright, I'm also doing this because I'm enjoying what I'm doing, and because I feel that there's some good behind it, alright? My profit apparently is going down, which I don't understand, and I'm supposed to be having the most busy time of the year. It makes no fucking sense what's going on right now. All of YouTube's metrics are telling me everything's...
How is it hard for you to figure out that you're making less money because you're basically pulling in the same mediocre views over and over and over again, right? And that even in what would be considered at one time, the more certain times a year would be the most profitable for you, but if there's nobody watching you, then why would you expect the benefit? And that's the amazing part about that statement that he made, that my viewership is this, my watch time is this, and my ad revenue is low. Well, how can that be? What do you mean, how can that be? You're underperforming. The content apparently isn't very good if people aren't watching it. So you're getting paid less. It's almost like, oh, well, the viewership, right, and the content shouldn't even really matter. You know what I'm saying? You guys should just keep paying me so I can keep doing what I'm doing, despite whether you think the content is good or not. It's almost like he really feels that way. Amazing. Amazing.
Positive. Everything's good and better and positive, yet I'm making less money. How is that fucking possible?
I think, yeah, DSP, I think the ship has sunk, King of Hypocrisy. He's done too much damage. I just don't understand how a grown man who's my age doesn't know that airing your dirty laundry out on YouTube is the worst possible thing you could do. Yeah, I don't understand what that's like. And people are turned off, and you see it in his, like, how many, he doesn't listen to anything. I've made mistakes, I flip-flop on things, and I've made promises I didn't keep, and that was stupid. And I have to stop doing that, and I've gotten better. I'm still not perfect, but I've gotten better. And but I admit to my mistakes.
I don't know how you've gotten better if you still do it, but all right. Fair enough.
And I do listen. Sometimes, you know, I don't listen as much as I should, but I'm trying to be more open-minded because, honestly, I learned from a lot from his mistakes. But how many years ago, King of Hypocrisy, you could tell him this, how many years have people been telling DSP, we don't want 10 videos from you a day. Make either one long video or, you know, stretch it out. And he didn't listen. He didn't listen, and people were like, fuck this. I remember I was subscribed to him a couple years ago, and I unsubbed because my YouTube feed would be filled of DSP videos. And now he's in a situation now, because he didn't listen, now he has to upload like 7 to 10 videos a day, because even with all those videos, he can't manage to get like 60,000 views a day.
You know, I really need help. Alright? I need help. Right now, I need, first of all, people who are watching my stuff to spread it via word of mouth, so that I can say my fucking
same pathetic bullshit. Like I said, if he had cut back years ago, I mean, Rich is right, but detractors have said this already. Like, if he had cut back years ago, he could have been fine. But he didn't want to do that. And then him uploading, now he has to upload as much as he was or more, and that's not even enough to maintain. He's still at a fucking deficit. But when he was on top, though, and, oh, I haven't changed in 8 years, and everybody loves what I'm doing, and I don't understand what's going on. When he was on top, and it was all milk and honey and shit, and it was the gravy train, he didn't want to listen to nobody. Oh, I don't care if 10,000 people aren't going to watch. No big deal. I'm still making out. Now, this idiot went from, at his max, or at his height, from anywhere from 12 to 15 million views a month. A month. He dropped down to 3. Now, he doesn't even pull 1 million. He's like in the 800,000s now. That's how far he's fallen. That's how far he's fallen. That's amazing. That is amazing. It's like Gouty Chernobyl. That shit is, it's catastrophic. Even Monday Matt didn't fall that hard. He fell hard, but he didn't even fall that hard. Hurtful. Just hurtful.
My house and I have it repossessed and shit. I need help. Number 2, Patreon. Because the bottom line is, if you already watch my stuff, you already spread the word about my stuff, and YouTube is saying that everyone who watches my stuff is liking it according to all their metrics, right? The only other thing you can do to help me is Patreon. pledge money to get perks, get stuff back, but also to help me. Because if the bottom line is, if a small amount of my viewership were patrons, if 10% of the people who watch me every single month, I get around 2 million views still on DSPGaming a month, and that's not counting views here on the King of Hate vlogs or over on KOGAMING or anything like that. That's just the channel alone. Gets over 2 million views usually a month, alright? If 10% of 2 million, 10% gave $1 a month, I would never have to worry about YouTube again. I wouldn't have to worry about views. I wouldn't have to worry about advertisements. If that was a consistent pledge that I got on Patreon, you would never have to hear me make a video like this, and I never have to say I'm in dire straits and I don't even know if I could do this business long term anymore.
The problem is that once he gets home from this extravagant fucking thing, he's gonna then talk about how he needs everybody to come together and sort of pay off this debt of his, because he wants to be able to continue to do this for a living, and he needs your help to do it. And he's, you know, he needs to be able to pay his bills and stuff like this. This, you know, and I saw people floating around the idea that, like, oh, you know, his home front video did really well, so that basically paid for this. Well, like, if you're asking people to pay you money so that you can pay your bills and shit, if you're telling the internet that you're incapable of paying off your debt, of paying your bills, of being financially solvent, then you don't have room to then go splurge. This should have went into taking a chunk off of his debt.
People can do what they want with their lives, with their money, with their vacation, with this. How dare he cry poor on Patreon? Say, I need money to stay afloat, and then flaunt this. That's the bit that gets me, you know?
No, that's exactly the problem.
But the thing is, though, his head is not a problem, because at the end of the day, he's going to be like, well, yeah, as I said earlier on in this, it's the haters' fault that I'm where I'm at. Sorry, let's reword that. It's the haters' fault that I'm at where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? So this right here isn't flaunting in front of his fan base, the audience, the cult. This is showing the detractors, trolls, haters, and critics, hey, I do have a good life. Hey, I am doing well, but I need you guys to continue to support me so I can have that. That's essentially what he's doing, or what he was doing, what he's still doing, and it's probably one of the few reasons he has, that he uses as like self-pignosis, or self-induced pignosis, I should say, to keep himself going. That's why, I mean, it's very obvious that Darksydephil has no shame about begging. He doesn't. You know what I'm saying? At first he used to say, I don't beg, I'm just advertising. Or, you know what I'm saying, I'm promoting myself or whatever. Now he's saying, oh, it's not begging, my begging is advertising. How else are people going to know? Well, it's the same people who show up every fucking day. If you said that you fucking really need money because the streams haven't been going so well the last couple days, please support. If you said that yesterday and they were there, and the YouTube video is going to be up, and you're going to put the video up on YouTube for on demand, I would think they're going to know. And if any of them, and more likely they do, watch detractor content, yet again, what's the point? What's the point? You're only hurting yourself, trying to justify it in some weird sort of way, like there's some grand scheme behind this. Oh, other people fucking advertise, other people fucking, you know, promote and shit. They don't advertise that they can't pay for groceries, dude. They don't advertise that they can't buy birthday gifts for their girlfriends or boyfriends and shit, or their significant others or whatever. They don't say that if you don't give me money on the stream, I'm gonna lose my house. That's not advertising. Unless you want people to know how much of a failure you are, then that's something all in itself. But outside of that, that's not advertising.
I wonder if Phil's going to be here tomorrow. I don't know. Is Phil going to be here next year? I don't know. Because people are still asking, Phil, are you going to be playing this game next year? I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be in this house next year. That's the reality of it, you know? I don't know. Right now, I'm narrowly paying my bills. Right now, and I'm not even exaggerating, right now, I'm hoping that there's enough money in my bank account to clear and pay my bills this month coming up in November. It's going to depend on how much money I actually get out of Patreon for this month. So we'll see. And if things don't go through, I'm probably going to have to go borrow money from my parents, which I've already done in the past. I might have to do it again, which they don't have a lot of money to borrow. I might have to take out a big loan. And
how do you
that's
know that? I'm borrowing from my parents. I've been borrowing from my parents before. They don't have a whole lot of money. So you're willing to burn through whatever they have to try to save yourself. And this goes back to something, he's been doing that for years. He's been getting a stipend or an allowance or whatever you want to call it from his parents for years. Even back in the days of milk and honey and shit. Just like how he likes to lie to you and say, oh, I used to accept donations, but then once the YouTube money really started kicking in, I didn't accept donations anymore. Bullshit. Bullshit. So this idiot has people donating to him behind the scenes. He's still collecting money from mommy and daddy, right? And we have YouTube and Twitch, and he still can't get shit together. This tard still can't get shit together. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And then blames everybody else because he failed. This guy, and this goes back to what I was saying earlier about how he would step over his dying mother if he thought it would give him an advantage or just to save himself. He was willing to bleed his parents dry so he could have a little staycation every once in a while because he feels that he deserves it. Other people work hard and get to take vacations. Why can't he? Well, because they actually work hard or they work smart. You can't seem to do either one of those things.
Be terrible because that's going to ruin my credit. You know, I don't know what I'm going to have to do. I don't want to be a comedian. I don't want to be an entertainer, a cosplayer, a fucking skit maker, a video editor, a fucking, you know what I mean? Anything that these people do, that this is what's popular on YouTube, that's not what I want. And I don't need to be popular on YouTube. I don't care about getting 1 million subs and having people donate the fuck out of everything to me. I don't care about any of that.
So you want people to give you money just to exist. Oh my God, it's like something I've been saying for a number of years already. Wow, I don't want to be entertaining. I just want to sit down and play video games and you idiots give me money. I want to be paid merely to exist. Don't expect nothing. Don't ask for anything. Don't put no expectations on me. Pay me merely to exist. To snort for my own enjoyment. Oh, hurtful, Phil. Hurtful.
I just want enough to pay my bills, to have a little life here with my girlfriend Leanna, and to keep sharing my experiences with you daily. That's all I want. I don't want to be rich. I don't want to be fucking famous. I don't want the world. I just want something that's a little reasonable. And the bottom line is, for 8 years I've been able to do that. And I think that it's just a combination of shitty circumstances combined with some really nasty fucking people who are just so mad that I don't follow the YouTube norms, and that I may have said a few inflammatory things over the years that really got their goat, and they just want to see me fucking die and burn. So, to end this, if you really do want to help, number 1, keep watching the videos. Number 2, please like the videos. I know I never used to say that before, but liking the videos helps. Number 3, please consider pledging to my Patreon, patreon.com/DarksydePhil. For as little as $1 a month, it actually helps me. You'd be surprised. With the amount of people now that have pledged $1 a month, it's gonna help. And if I can get even more, maybe I don't have to worry about this shit anymore, okay? Hello everyone, and welcome! Wow, this is a momentous occasion because not only are we about to begin the first Patron's Choice playthrough of 2016, this game was nominated in...
Oh no. Oh no! Oh, this is pretty much going to speak for itself. Oh my Christ. This was probably the greatest $1,250 he ripped off since Project 7, to be honest. But not even that, or not even just that. But then he had like 100 plus parts to this too, so he had made money off that. Oh, just the rage quit it. Just the rage quit it. Here we go.
Voted on by patrons in the month of January, and throughout February they were voting, and it won the poll unanimously, like huge lead over the other games. So I'm excited. I've also basically been told by everyone possible, play the game on easy because the game is cripplingly difficult if you don't, and I'm probably just going to rage a ton, and people actually want to see me finish the game rather than rage quit it. So I think I'm going to take the advice of my viewers and go along that route, okay? Difficulty. Now, everyone, I'm going to be honest here. All of my viewers literally contacted me this past week. They were like, play it on easy, don't rage quit, play it on easy. So I'm going to listen to the viewers. There you go. This setting is intended for less experienced gamers. Better will be less challenging. And you can continue up to 10 times, yep. Once you've begun, this setting cannot be changed. Yes, yes. Fucking die! Oh, here it comes! This is it! This is it!
128 days later on easy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Now I'm charmed! I'm charmed, which means I'm gonna heal him. I'm gonna heal him.
Providing backup.
I'm gonna heal him. I know it. And then I quit.
That wasn't good.
If I heal him, I quit. I'm not kidding. I quit the game. I'm done. I'll tell you right now, if I heal him, I quit.
Hey, can you hear me?
He's doing it again! He's doing it again! Oh my god! Fuck this! This is insanity! I'm done. This is over. I'm done. I'm not redoing it. I'm done. She's gonna heal him. I'm done. I'm done! It's over! It's over! Goodbye! It's over. That's it for Persona 3, ladies and gentlemen. That's the worst final boss fight I've ever done in an RPG. That's not an exaggeration. That is the worst final boss fight I've ever done. And I'm not redoing it. So I don't care about the end of the game. I spent, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, over 4 months. And I'm not doing it again. That's a complete waste of time. That was 90 minutes of one boss fight. The worst designed boss fight I've ever done in a fucking RPG. I'm done. The playthrough is over. I'm not playing this game again. That is it. I'm not wasting any more time. I'm done. That is it. Complete garbage. That is complete hack game design. There is no reason to have a fucking boss that can multiply charm your party and your party immediately will re-heal the boss. Fuck that. Fuck that bullshit. I'm glad that they didn't do that. You saw in Persona 4, that shit wasn't in it, right? They said, oh no. No, no, no. Enough of that shit. It's done. It's over. I'm done with this fucking game. Goodbye.
This is his 4th rage quit in 2 months. God damn. He rage quit Lego Star Wars? Ghostbusters, which is funny because I thought that was his favorite game. Oh my Christ. You're a fucking failure. You're a goddamn failure. Oh shit, 78 likes, 1,011 dislikes. Oh my Christ. That's, oh, look at that shit. That's barbaric. That is barbaric. Yikes.
Thanks for the money, dummy.
Alright, hello everyone and welcome. How's everyone doing today on this lovely Sunday?
Oh no. Oh no! It's his incident. Oh, the thing that has cemented Darksydephil in the consciousness and unconsciousness of everybody. Anybody who is anybody. You got WWE wrestlers who make fun of this moment. That's how hilarious it is. He's a laughing stock of the highest quality. He'll never be able to escape this. But let's see it though. Let's see it.
You can believe it, ladies and gentlemen. Today is May 1st. It's a certain kind of tree has been putting out this pollen that looks like cotton, and it's all over the place outside. It's like covered. The ground is covered in it. And my allergies are acting up. I'm all congested, and also my eye now is starting to itch, which is not good. So I need to stop touching it. If I keep touching it, it's going to itch worse. So I need to stop immediately. I don't think you want to see me with a big swollen eye here on the stream here trying to play Neo, right?
Panda was disappointed that she wasn't getting laid by this. That's amazing. Panda was disappointed that she wasn't getting porked by this. Oh, it's so sad. Oh, it's so sad because it's true. Wow, that's amazing.
Oh my god. What is up, everyone? Hello, and welcome. Oh, the camera's on. The camera's been on the whole...
This disgusting scumbag didn't wash his hands, didn't do jack shit. You know what I'm saying? He squirted his piggy juice and whatnot, and then did a fucking satisfying snort, and then was going to get right to it. And then he wonders why we have multiple ear infections. And then it's the same idiot who's like, why would I want to take, why should I be taking showers every day? Matter of fact, I'm going to take less showers, so this way it doesn't cause me to get more ear infections. That's his logic. If this isn't retarded, I don't know what is. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. That's retarded. That's absolutely fucking retarded. That's amazing. Yo. Oh my god. It's like watching Trailer Park Trash be Trailer Park Trash. It's amazing. He's tried so hard. Not in that last scene, that was terrible. But he's tried so hard to try to make himself seem like he's affluent, right? Like he was rising up above his station in life or his situation, despite the fact that he's had a lot of advantages and he was just too stupid to take advantage of it. You can take the whore out of the trailer park, but that doesn't mean you can take the trailer park out of the whore. That's all he ever has been. And he wasn't even raised in a trailer. And Jesus Christ, Wings even has more something than this. This is just bad for the sake of being bad. Oh my god. What a scumbag. What an absolute scumbag. Wow. Wow. It's just so terrible. And then this look. This is permanently immortalized. This is Gouty Christendom. All those people who fight for Phil and try to defend him and all this dumb shit. This is what you chose to defend. This piece of human trash who's too lazy to get up and even wash his own hands. Probably doesn't even remember what soap is unless you guys are paying him to do it for a DSP tries it. This is what you defend. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Time, huh? I don't even know. Hello.
And we decided to sway back and forth like a tart. He looks like someone who stood in front of a grandfather clock like way too long when he was a kid. You got caught jerking off, and then you decide to sway back and forth. He looked directly at the camera, got caught, and then decided to sway back and forth like he was trying to hide something. It's so good.
DSPGaming.
DSPGaming. Darksydephil, a YouTuber with over 200,000 subscribers, called Watch DSPGaming.
Wait.
Beat off.
He don't have over... What the fuck? Fuck you, Keemstar. He doesn't have over 200,000 subscribers. He's never had that. Fake news. Fake news. And I literally run a fake news network. But fake, well... Is it... Actually, it's not fake, because I actually have people who actually help me with this shit. Never mind. I guess I'm more legit than that. Anyway... He doesn't have over 200,000 subscribers. Fake news.
With Facecam.
Oh, it's about DSP.
After streaming games, he decided to touch himself while watching porn online. After the deed, he was completely shocked that everything was streamed online.
He's fucking loving it. Look at him. Look at him. Oh shit, look at his little head.
But here's the problem. Phil didn't realize that his camera was on. And he
He looked so angry. He looked so fucking angry. Oh shit. Oh. Look at him. He looks so angry. Oh shit. Goddamn, Phil, you've been doing it wrong, buddy. You've been doing it wrong.
He fucking masturbated.
To this one now, if you told me at that time that one of the topics I'll be covering is that he wanked on a live stream, I'd have been like, no, seriously, what, no, what?
And see, this is the fatal flaw that some of the early detractors, not really flaw, to be honest with you, but this is the thing I think earlier detractors had, past tense, that you don't see anymore. Except for a few people, and that's just because they don't know no better. This shit doesn't really topple out. There isn't anything that DSP Darksydephil won't stoop to. There is no low point. It just keeps dropping. No one should have ever been surprised that this was going to happen sooner than later. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's Darksydephil. Come on. Some of you guys used to be former fans, or you followed him for some period of time. This had to have been in the back of your mind that one day maybe he'd get caught on some dumb shit. Now, most of you are probably thinking, well, why would he do that when you got Panda there and she actually wants the dick? Just because she wanted don't mean he can get it up. So there you go. Yo, like we're mining for gold, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck the floor, fuck the basement. You know what I'm saying? Fuck the bottom of the well and shit that's beneath that. Like, we're literally digging for fucking gold. We're mining our way to China. Like, amazing. But yet again, though, in truth, the old school detractors were reasonable. They were reasonable. They were like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody has. He would never fall that low. Only if they knew. Only if they. But then again, I think they were better people for it. Because like now, like there is no real shock anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to understand, like back in their day, you just didn't know. You just didn't know what he would do next. You know what I'm saying? My generation, we're just waiting for him to do we're just waiting for him to see what he does next. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like in their head and by their logic, and rightfully so, there's certain things that, okay, there's certain things Phil won't do. We don't have to ever worry about that. But, you know what I'm saying? But that was back in their day. But homie, in my day, we just sitting here, we wait. You just wait to see what happens. You wait. You know what I'm saying? Like the fires burn bright. Very bright. And as long as he's willing to put more bacon grease on that fire, who's going to stop him? And let's see if it overtakes him eventually. Or who else gets consumed in the fire before he gets consumed. It's just the reality of it all.
If you watch the full video, this dude finished in like a minute and 12 seconds, man. That shit was fast as fuck. Like, are we just gonna ignore that? Is no one gonna address that issue? Because this dude, literally, from start to finish, it was like 1 minute.
It's very obvious what he's doing. Now, in the beginning, anyway, he was trying to dodge the Fapgate bullet. And he was telling people that, oh, I was just itching my leg. And no one was buying it. It's like, dude, you were itching your leg for like 3 minutes.
A inicios de este año, este tipo se encontraba realizando un directo en esta plataforma, cuando en un descuido no se percata que la cámara se encontraba.
Honestly, like, I think we take for granted, to be honest, exactly how much coverage this got. This got a lot of coverage. A lot. I'm talking about French, Spanish, English newspapers, there, like, you know what I'm saying, even in South America, like, dude, like, it's all, like, this shit was all over the place. Like, people legit, like, did a lot. Like, Phil, he downplays it, and he's been downplaying for a while. He makes it sound like, oh, it's just a bunch of people on YouTube, or some people on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? No, it was YouTube, it was Twitter, it was Facebook, it was other social media websites in other countries. Like, it was all over the place. It was legitimately all over the place. It was amazing. It was amazing. You can still find archives of some of those news articles if you're wanting to look. It's something special. And sadly, this might have been the most fame or the most attention he'll ever get. Even with all the other scandals and dumb shit that he did later on, this was probably the apex. This was the peak. You know what I'm saying? This was his highest point when it comes to publicity. Not popularity, publicity. Amazing.
Encendida y que aún estaba transmitiendo en directo.
Oh well.
Oh my god! Dude, he should have cut the stream and made that private!
Oh god! Oh god!
He's an idiot!
Oh fuck!
Oh my god, so what did the chat fucking like? Oh Phil! No, don't masturbate!
He's like,
I don't know.
Phil, no!
Fuck this!
DSP tries it, sexting part 2.
Oh my
Oh my god!
Like, come on, man! I didn't know it was actually gonna be a man jerking off. I thought it was just a joke. But no, this dude totally just pounded one out on his live stream. Like, with no fucking cares in the world. He doesn't care. This dude just jerks off when he pleases. He doesn't care if he's live streaming.
It's funny from an outsider's perspective of how can you be so dumb that, you know, you've left your camera on and you started wanking. Why would you even wank in front of... I know that... Oh, I thought it was turned off.
Like I said, I'm not watching that video. I'm scared to even put a link to it in the description, to be honest. I'm not even doing that. I'm not even putting a link in the description.
That is it. Thank you for watching. Let us begin with Neo. Alrighty then.
Hitting with another one. I just hitting with another one. Hitting with another one.
Oh, that's beautiful. That was fucking beautiful. Thank you very much to Secret Limited, aka Secret Life of DSP, aka formerly known as the artist known as Secret Life of DSP. That shit was dope. That shit was hilarious, son. Oh shit. It's not like that Dave Chappelle skit where he's like, it's crazy that you're here because you came out my balls, son. You can never say that. Oh my god. Oh, son of a bitch. You have a at least mildly attractive chick that you ain't sat there and picked up from, you ripped her from her parents and moved her across country, and you weren't even willing to use that. And she wanted you to dump in her, and you still didn't do it. Oh man. Oh. And then you have the nerve to tell people to get over your incident. Get over it. Oh, because Lord knows, Phil, they need to come off top. All right, let me stop. All right, ladies and gentlemen, give me a second to to finish up, and then I'll let you guys go for the day. I'm not sure if this is going to be premiered or not. I'm not sure. Whatever. Oh, what a stupid bastard. All right, guys, we'll see you in a second. Oh my god, so good. So good. Oh my god. Ladies and gentlemen. That was good. That was a great way to start the year off. This year is gonna have is gonna be something. It's gonna be trials and tribulations. It is what it is. It's gonna be an interesting year. I will try my very best to do my best going forward and whatnot. I will try what I can. Hiatuses happen, life happens, all kinds of stuff. But I'd like to try to do what I can. There has been talk around the newsroom about an idea that I was talking about a little bit about maybe having a detractor FGC tournament. That's something that I need to reach out to some people about. I will do that when I get Twitter back. That might be something to speak on. There has been a lot of you who have said, you know, we start live streaming, so on and so forth. We will see. I need to get a hold of Ghostly Wins because I'm going to start back up live from the Gentleman's Club. He's going to be my first guest. And then G Money, I'll be talking to G Money after that. There's actually quite a few people I'd like to talk to. But those will be the first two to start off with. We'll go from there. We'll see what's up. I'm not going to make any promises. These are just ideas that I have going into the year. I have no idea what's going to really happen or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? While I'm here, I will try to do my best. That's all I've ever offered you, is really my opinion, and try to present it to you as best as I can. I'm not going to promise you anything else because I'm not here to make promises. At least promises that I can't keep anyway. So that's just not going to work. But I will do what I can. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. This is the GOUT Report. Welcome to Snortopia, because Snortopia is a thing. And big ups to SnortBucks Coffee, the best beverage company, and Tim Snortons. And take care of yourselves, guys, and whatnot. Take care of yourselves. And I'll see you guys for oh my god, I'll see you guys for top 10 worst moments 2017 eventually. Take care of yourselves, guys. Later. Oh my god. actually, one more thing. Actually, before we cast off, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, it's all supposed to be point and laugh. If Phil can't handle it, that's on him. But it's all supposed to be point and laugh. We're supposed to have a good time with this shit. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Not that I need to remind any of you of that, but that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? Later, people. Oh my god. Amazing.